Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week, another edition, another bi-week fortnight of the StarCraft Evolution League number 9. I'm of course host live VIP. With me, I'm joined by these amazing players, by the people in the chat, and by my plushies as well. Welcome one and all to another StarCraft Evolution mod tournament. Here we go. For those that are curious, for those that are just now tuning in for the first time, the StarCraft Evolution mod is a mod that does bring together Brood War and StarCraft 2 and does pit them against each other. This is not your typical standard StarCraft 2. This is instead something different, something special, something greater. Two different games coming together. Let's go. Let us go. Now, just for a bit of a heads up, there has been a recent change. So for the majority of this year, StarCraft Evolution League has been a monthly tournament, but that has since changed as of, I believe, the previous tournament. It has now grown from a monthly into a bi-weekly. So every fortnight, every 2 weeks, we do host a StarCraft Evolution League event, and this event is from 2 days ago. As we're just to be transparent, of course, this is a replay cast. These matches were held a couple of days ago here. I say a couple, 2 days ago, or less than 2 days ago, really, less than 48 hours. At the time, we were busy covering another tournament. At the time, we were busy casting, I believe we were casting Sparkling Tuna Cup. We were casting Sparkling Tuna Cup. We were casting Sea Duckling Open, sorry, I should say Sea Duckling Open, leading into Hatchery Cup. So we were covering other events. Alas, our schedule is pretty busy. It's a pretty busy schedule, pretty jam-packed. So unfortunately, we weren't able to cover this live, but now we're here a day or so later to go over those replays. Let's go, baby, let's go. Meanwhile, to catch up on the bracket itself, let us head on over here to the bracket scene. Head on over here to the round of, or to the quarterfinals. Now, this event did have up to a round of 32. So round of 32 into round 16 into the round of 8, but as you can imagine, there's a lot of replays. There's a lot of replays, a lot of matches to cast. There were definitely some tempting matches to go over in the round of 16, but we'll be covering everything from the quarterfinals onwards. So we're going to be covering 4 best of 3s initially, then a break, and then the semis, and then the grand finals. We'll be casting everything. Usually when we live cast the tournaments, we start from the round of 32, from one match, then into round 16 with another match, and into the quarterfinals with another. We kind of follow it. We typically follow one player kind of like along their road and along their journey throughout the bracket. But here, since it's a replay cast, we have everything. So may as well cover every single quarterfinals match into the semis, into the finals. So that is the current plan. We have our set of players here. We have Classic, Rebellion, Wayne, Killian, SHIN, BratOK, Zardiant, and MiddleVK. When it comes to the top players, we are missing a couple. Of course, we're missing Dark, but Dark, of course, is inactive. Dark is getting ready to leave and go to his military service, so Dark is not here. Likewise, another player that is missing is Spirit. That I'm more surprised by. This might, again, we were covering other events at the time, so I actually think there might have been a Wood TV like Spring Championship like qualifier or something along the lines as well. So it's possible that Spirit was otherwise unavailable. So we're missing Spirit. We might be missing Dark, but instead of Dark, we have the next best thing. We have SHIN. SHIN, I would say, is the second best Zerg player in StarCraft Evolution. I'm also excited to cast Wayne. Wayne is a player that did eliminate Spirit from a previous SEL, and we didn't get to cast those matches. I didn't get to cover them, I didn't get to cast them, I didn't get to see what the hell happened and how Wayne brought Spirit down. So I'm happy to see Wayne up against Killian, and I'm curious to see how Wayne is looking in that matchup. Killian, of course, we just covered during the King of the Hill. Killian is also a very strong player in his own right. He's mainly a caster nowadays, but still a strong competitor, so I'm excited to see some Killian action. Classic, #1 Protoss. Classic is the #1 Protoss player in StarCraft Evolution, so he's going to be the favorite to win it all. If there's no Dark and there's no Spirit, those are the typical players that I consider to be the challengers to Classic. Well, then the others are going to have to step it up here to try to bring him down. Oh boy. It's going to be a tough one, but regardless, looking forward to tuning in and covering as many of these players as we can. Let's go. Let's go. Up first is going to be Classic versus Rebellion in that PvP. Game 1 is on Sylphid. Here we go. Yo, shout out to Psycons in the chat. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Bienvenidos. Bienvenidos. As we jump into our first quarterfinals of the broadcast. And this morning, in the bottom left-hand corner of Sylphid, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing among SE2 people. It is Rebellion. And spawning in the top side of Sylphid, we have his opponent, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Blue Protoss. It is Classic. Here we go. Again, of course, no predictions here for the matches tonight, as these are by replays, so it wouldn't quite be fair. For now, though, we have our PvP. We have Classic playing SG Protoss. We have Rebellion playing Brutal Protoss, and welcome one all to Sylphid. Sylphid is a 3-player spawn map. We have bottom left, bottom right, and the top side as well. So we have plenty of spawn locations. It is up to our players to initially determine where their opponents have spawned in. That is going to be the first kind of goal here for our players. Outside of that, we do have some standard openers here. So far, no crazy early expansions. Double gas here from a Classic. Should be seeing something similar here at a Rebellion. We'll see if either one does cut corners, if either one does throw down tech before expanding. Now, when it comes to mirror matchups in general here, I'm not too even comfortable calling them mirror matchups, because that I feel like is kind of weaving a different tale. Protoss versus Protoss, Terran versus Terran, Zerg versus Zerg, they are not mirror matchups at all, just because the races they work and look so different in between Brutal and SE2. They are their own matchups. In general here, they are their own matchups. They're mirrored only in name, as they are Protoss or Terran or Zerg, but that's really as close as they get. There are some similarities, that is true, but they are still so starkly different, which is why I personally actually really enjoy covering the mirror matchups. Like, I feel like they provide for some of the most interesting games in StarCraft Evolution. It's all my favorites. So my favorites. Speaking of, Classic opening up with a proxy. Let's go. We do kick things off. The pylon has been thrown down, and Classic, he is going to commit. He's going to commit here. So he does hide his 3rd pylon across the map. Cybercore is done. What do we have? A gateway or a robo? What's it going to be? Classic, yep, he's just building up his resources. Proxy Robo, one base all in here from Classic. It's going to be all or nothing. Rebellion, for the time being, is unawares. He does open up Zealots into a Nexus. Again, a very fast expansion here for Rebellion. Rebellion going for an economic opener. Little does he know, he's being cheesed the hell out. And Classic, he scouts and he confirms. He's like, oh, thank God, you expanded. Well, this is going to work beautifully. That's its double robo. Oh my god. Proxy double robo here at a Classic. Hyper aggression, hyper committed, and I'll be honest, Rebellion, he's gonna have a very hard time holding because of how greedy he has been. Now, Rebellion, he does scout, he does confirm that there is no expansion, there is no Nexus, but knowing is half the battle here, and right now he has limited production. He's making 2 Dragoons at a time. He has a 3rd gateway on the way. There's that initial shield battery. We do desperately need that shield battery to defend, but even then, I just don't know if it's going to be enough. Cell does get into the mineral line, trying to force a defensive warp in, and meanwhile, 1 probe goes down. Nice control by Classic. He pulls away the weakened workers, does preserve whatever he can. Losing 1 probe so far. Very nice control. Yeah, pulls away, and this Zealot will eventually go down. Oh my god, we'll lose 2 probes. Yeah, bit of miscontrol towards the end. The Zealot, oh, he wants more! Oh, he gets 3! Barely gets 3, does not get 4. Whew. Oh my god. The worst trade for that Zealot, but here we go. The Immortals are amassing, and Proxy Immortal hits even harder here against these Dragoons. Rebellion trying to muster up a defense. So far, only 1 shield battery. Gateway is exposed. Immortal is revealed. Now he knows. Now he does know what's going on. Nice target firing here at a Classic. Does target down 1 Dragoon. 1 Dragoon goes down, goes to the pylon. Oh, the pylon is powering the shield battery. Uh-oh. The pylon's exposed, and the pylon goes down. Depowers everything. Depowers the gateway, depowers the shield battery. There's 2 gateways left. Again, warping in 2 Dragoons at a time. Boys are being pulled, and they do a great job here at tanking. But the Prism is out. Solid juggling here from Classic. He does save the Immortals. Does kite back. We get Zealots to reinforce. They deal with the probes. And once again, nice target firing. He does get 1, does get 2, does get every single Dragoon. Classic will not lose any of his Immortals. Oh my god, I almost speak too soon. Whew. Does save the Immortals just barely. GG gets called. Classic snowballs out of controlling Classic. He will take game number 1. Whew. GG. Classic, he will take a lead in the series. A solid game 1 here. Again, unfortunately, Rebellion went for a very economic build. Remember, he went for a 2-gate opener into Nexus before any tech, before the 3rd gateway. Very economic build there from Rebellion. little did he know, he was being cheesed out. And even though he had some decent surrounds, even though he was able to move forward with his Dragoons, again, he couldn't really maintain that position. Also, the pylon was exposed, the shield battery was depowered real fast and real quick, and it just wasn't really a factor in that fight or in that game. And with that, Rebellion did fall. Was overwhelmed, but now we're jumping into game number 2, and we'll see if he can bounce back. Now, coming into the mid game, I do actually want to say that we have a back and forth potential between Classic and Rebellion, but a lot of it comes down to, can Rebellion get to that mid game? Can he embrace a longer game set? Can he survive the early game aggression? We're here to find out. As spawning in the top right hand corner of Frostline, we have our red Protoss player. We have a red Protoss, our SC2 Protoss, representing among SC2 people from South Korea. It is Rebellion. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the BratOK Protoss. It is Classic. We go. A la causa. Ah, ¿qué tal, papi? ¿Qué tal? Castor TV in the chat. Here we go. Bienvenidos. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well as we jump into our second game. Again, the roles have been reversed. We do have Classic instead embracing BratOK Protoss, and we'll see if Rebellion can turn the tables on his opponent. Let's go. For now, standard openers. For now, nothing too crazy. We do see Classic going for a much earlier probe scout across the map. This is something that Rebellion was lacking in the previous game, or something that he did delay. Double gas opener out of Rebellion, going for his initial setup. There's that second gateway. And Classic confirms a 2-gate opener. 2-gate opener out of Rebellion. Classic, oh my god, the greed! Classic going gate expand! Even greedier than Rebellion. Remember, Rebellion, he went for a 2-gate opener into his Nexus. I believe even Cybercore before Nexus as well, but ay. Okay, papi, let's go. So, gate expand into Cybercore. Classic, he throws down the gauntlet. Rebellion, he's about to come in for a scout. Again, a later scout at Rebellion. Now he sees, now he knows. He does spot the timing of the Nexus. And now Rebellion has the option to respond with an all-in. Does have the option. We'll see if he goes for it. I mean, I say that. I mean, he has a second pylon in the main. He can throw down and proxy his third pylon instead. That is going to be an option. Based on his rally, he's going back to the center. Oh, never mind. Where are we headed? Where are we setting up? Our eyes are on this probe. Moves down towards the low ground. Past the scene vets for a Zealot does pop out. We see Classic is searching. He's looking for proxies. Yes, searching for the proxy location. And he will find the probe. Yeah, nice catch. Finds the probe. And Classic should be feeling safe. Should be feeling safe. Meanwhile, Rebellion, does he just expand? He's going for his Twilight Council back at home, going for tech before expanding. The probe does pull away. And Classic, once again, he dips in. He's looking for the expansion. Third gateway, one base all in. So one base all in out of Rebellion. He is missing a proxy gateway though. He needs a proxy to reinforce across the map. He only has 3 gates for the time being. We can afford a 4-gate production off of a 1-base economy. Probe confirms, yeah, the probe dips in, bypasses the Stalker, sees everything. Now he knows. Classic, he's fully aware of the blink timing and of the earlier gateway and of the lack of expansion. So Classic, he's pieced it all together. Back at home, we need shield batteries. Shield batteries back at home. Going to be a Citadel opener here from a Classic. Interesting. Still going for Dragoon range, but with the Citadel, we can rush into Zealot legs. Citadel is done. There's that initial shield battery. Dragoons are amassing, 4 Dragoons so far, and Rebellion, he's going for his proxy gateway in the center of the map, right outside the natural. So this is going to be a 1-base, 4-gate blink all in. There's the 4th gateway. Now this gateway is late because the probe kept being found and because the probe was zoned away. That does delay the proxy, it does delay the push. So this is going to hit a little bit later than Rebellion would have liked. There's a slow warp in. The longer this goes on, the better it is for Classic. He's just building up, getting another pylon. Now again, this second pylon is to make sure that everything stays powered. This is something that Rebellion was missing in the last game. Legs on the way, going into a Templar Archives. with this, we can head into Dark Templar. So yeah, there it is. Yeah, Dark Templar on the way. And that will completely shut this down. Remember, 0 detection. Just a really smart way to deal with an all-in, especially an all-in that's not robo-based or Stargate-based. There is 0 detection, DTs are on the way, 2nd shield battery, 3rd shield battery as well, and there's just no answer. There's no answer to the Dark Templar. They can either be used defensively or they can just rush across the map. We'll see. I mean, regardless, I mean, it's still ideal. Yeah, the first Dark Templar has arrived, does waddle in, runs into the army. Yep, ignores it, just goes past. Does rush past, he's going for the kill. At the same time, Rebellion dives in and does focus on all the Dragoons. Very nice target firing, getting one shot. You can one-shot those Dragoons. And the shield barriers don't mean much. Cells to be punished, there we go, defensive DT. And this will all eventually go down. The DT will eventually kill everything in the main. He's making his way across the map. The wall is currently closed. There is a sentry defensively. There's that defensive sentry. Oh, the force field is not good enough. Army getting caught in the main. And Classic, he's holding. He's holding. He forces out the army across the map. The DT does bust in. Breaks through that front door. There's a robo on the way, but he's going for the pylon and he's within range. He's in. Oh, God. Was almost within range. Rebellion desperately trying to hold on. Desperately throwing down extra pylons to keep the robo tapped, to keep the robo powered. So I'll say dive in. Prox is being cleaned up. And this is just too much damage. It's just far too much here. Observers on the way. There will eventually be detection, but that's going to be 8 probe kills. And remember, Rebellion, he's 1 base all in. GG gets called, and Classic, he will take the series 2-0. GG. Whew. GG, well played. A very impressive performance there by Classic. Again, going for defensive Dark Templar was the exact correct move to go for, just because it was a 1 base blink all in, which means there was no robo, there was no Stargate, there was 0 detection for Rebellion, so there was just no answer. Defensively and offensively as well, those DTs, they just wreaked havoc. That was game. That was game. Just a really solid way to deal with an all-in as the defending Protoss Brood War player. And with that, Classic will advance on into the next round. Question becomes, who is he gonna face off against? That is the question here. Un momento, as we do try to set things up. So Classic, he'll be the first in the semifinals. Question becomes, who's up next? As we do have our next matchup here, it's gonna be a ZVT between Wayne and Kiwian. Oh boy, I'm ready. I'm excited. Let's go, Bobby. Let's go. As we are jumping into our fresh series here, into a ZVT. Now, coming into this, again, I actually don't really know who to favor. In the previous series, Classic, he's favored to win the entire tournament. 100%. Favorite to win it all. But here, Kiwian, I know, is a very strong player. He's a very strong Brood War player, 100%. Wayne, I don't think I've casted him yet. I don't think I've casted Wayne in StarCraft Evolution. I know he has played in tournaments. I know that he did take down Spirit, but this is all just looking at the brackets. Unfortunately, at the time, we were casting, yes, but we were covering other players, so we weren't able to catch Wayne and catch Spirit and see what he was made of. So, I'm ready. I'm excited. We'll see how this story does unfold. As we jump into our fresh best of 3, and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Neo Isles of Siren, we have the red Zerga player. Oh, it is Wayne. The SC2 Zerg, and spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have the Brood War Terran player, the blue Terran from South Korea. It is Kiwian, aka TOP. Let's go. And welcome one and all to Neo Isles of Siren. This is one of my favorite maps, as it is a very quirky map. Welcome to an island map. Island maps are, I was going to say, a rare sight. They're extinct in SE2. They do not exist, unfortunately, not anymore. So they're just never seen in the SE2 kind of environment. But here, when it comes to StarCraft Evolution, we embrace the island map. So we have bottom right, bottom left, and top right, 4-player spawn location. Oh, there are 4-player spawns, and we do see Wayne instantly checking bottom left with his overlords, instantly checking top right, and he will find Kiwian early on. Now, when I say island map, you can see here there are these thin rivers, these thin crevices even, that do split the map into quadrants. So we have these big quadrants, bottom left, bottom right. As we mentioned, there's 4 quadrants, and there's also a center island as well. So we have technically 5 islands. 5 islands, each corner and the center island, a little bit smaller. Each island has 4 bases. We have the main base, we have the natural, we have the third, and we have the 4th base as well. So 4 bases are available here. We do see Kiwian going CC first into Rax into 3rd CC. Very greedy build here by Kiwian. Likewise, Wayne going hatch first, going hatch, gas pool into a 3rd hatchery. So both players are rushing into their 3rd bases as quickly as possible. And the reason for this is because there is no danger. There is no danger early on, so they can be as greedy as possible here. Now, something that is seen quite frequently, as you can imagine on these island maps, is mutaplay. Going Spire into Muta makes the most sense. We have seen players go actually Ling Hydra Lurker into Nidus instead and go for these big Nidus worms across the map and try to commit instead. So there are different ways to approach this, but for the most part, Mutaplay should be the go-to from the side of Wayne. Meanwhile, from the side of the Terran player, interesting. We do have a commitment into Bio. I was gonna say that we often see Mech and we often see Goliath. We often see like Factory into Starports, into like Goliath Wraith, Valkyrie sort of setup, into Mech composition. But here we have Kiwian going for a stim timing. Okay. Now, I do like this. Coming into this, we do have a very interesting setup and a very interesting scenario. If we assume that Wayne is rushing into mutas, then a stim timing can honestly kill Wayne. It's going to be a little bit awkward just because dropships and starport production is a little bit more delayed and it's a little bit more wonky here from Kiwian, so that will slow him down. But when it comes to like moving out with early bio and early stim, I do think that if Wayne is greedy and if Wayne makes nothing but mutas and does not have a supportive army, then Wayne could just die. So we'll see. We'll see how this all comes together. We'll see how this all does come to pass. Overlords are set. Yep, there's that Spire. So as we mentioned, we're rushing into mutas. No surprise here. There's going to be mass muta out of Wayne. I should also emphasize that there was a recent change last week to the gas geysers, and now these are no longer high yield. They used to be high yield gas geysers, but now they're regular gases instead. As Wayne is going to be embracing them as quickly as he can, taking all 6 gases. Meanwhile, yep, there's the factory, so it's going to be factory into starport into dropships. The mass spy is building up. We do have Kiwian still searching for his opponents. I just realized that the Overlord did see the position of Kiwian, but Kiwian did not see the Overlord. As the Overlord did have more vision than the initial building SEV. So Kiwian doesn't yet really know what's going on. There we go, there's a scan. There's a scan. Does see the gases, does see the lair. He can assume, yep, there's the scan. He confirms it is going to be Spire and it is going to be mutas. It's going to be on Kiwian to defend. To defend and then counterattack. Ooh, Drop Lord on the way. That should be just to expand. So Wayne going for the Drop Lord just so we can take a top right. Take more expansions. Muta production has begun. Go. So it is 9 mutas on the way. Now, I'm not really too concerned about these mutas getting damage done. For the most part, there are turrets in position. We have even additional turrets on the way. There's going to be 2-3 turrets per mineral line. So I don't think this is going to get much damage done. But what I am very curious about is the counterattack. Again, here comes that starport into control tower. Right now, Kiwian is locked onto his base. He's locked down. Like, he has no way to leave his island for the time being. And we do see Wayne expanding. Just taking more bases, just expanding, getting a hatchery. We can see Wayne, he's checking for any kind of proxies. We have +1 hidden here top left, let's go. Wayne is looking for ninja bases. Remember, Wayne, he knows he got scattered, so he knows that there should be turrets done. That's why there's no rush for Wayne to go into mineral lines. That's why I wasn't really too concerned about Wayne getting damage done, because he shouldn't get too much. He will get 1 SCV. Gets 1 SCV. Bio army just respond, losing another SCV, so 2 SCVs going down. But these mutas, they can't really engage with the Marines, so they have to back off. Now, I did say earlier how we have seen a lot of Nidus and Hydra Lurker play here in ZVT on Neo Islands of Siren. There it is, Hydra Den just now finished. So Hydra Den most likely into Nidus, into Lurker. Like in a head-on fight, these mutas, they should never win here. That's why we have to tech. The mutas, what their goal right now and what they're achieving is containing, right? They're stopping a fourth. They're stopping a fourth base from being taken. They're stopping an island base from being taken. They're containing Kiwian on his 3-base setup, and Wayne is now switching from muta into Lurker. Into either drop play or Nidus play, right? Into an army that can actually fight. Mutas, they do head into the main. The Valkyries, oh my god. Valkyries have arrived. Mutas have to respect it. They turn around, do take a big shot to the face. All it takes is a couple of volleys from the Valkyrie and the mutas will just evaporate. We've seen that many, many times. Gotta respect the Valkyries. But that's also why, like, these mutas, they don't have a lot of longevity in this game, right? Like, they're not the end all be all. All it takes is a couple of Valkyrie shots. Like, you think Liberator AoE, like anti-air attacks, are scary, and they can be scary when you hit critical mass of Liberator, but Valkyries can achieve what Liberators can with far less units, with far less Valkyries. That's what's terrifying. Like, give Kiwian like 3-4 Valkyries, he'll be set. Whereas in SE2, if you want to do the same thing with Liberators, you need like, what, 8-9 libs? Now, Wayne pulls away. Lloyd does find the eBay. He won't deny +1, but he will deny +2. Or I guess a +1 armor, I should say. The second upgrade. Meanwhile, Lurkers are amassing +1 range into Nidus play. Sorry, I meant to say into Hive, and then into Niduses. We do see the Kiwian has still yet to expand. Nice catch on the medic. Medic goes down. Oh. Wayne getting caught out. Oh my god, as you can see here, 4 Valkyries, and the mutas just cannot touch this. With that, Kiwian finally expands, claims another expansion, claims the 4th base, and he's going into BC. This is what I was curious about. I wasn't too certain where Kiwian was going to take this, whether he was going to go into drop play or not. He scans, he sees all the Lurkers, he confirms everything with these scans. Now he knows what army he's up against, and we go nice into the main, and Kiwian, he's missing vision. Yeah, no vision, no scouting. He does miss the Nidus. Ay. I love that we're switching it up, going into BCs, and we're going into Irradiate and Science Vessels. But he does not see this. Nidus does complete. The Lunkers, they can pop off. You can see he's looking for the Nidus. Does miss it. Lurker gets spotted. Thankfully, only one. Okay. Oh, that's Searches in. Rest of the Lurkers, they do unload. There's just so many of them. 8 Lurkers. Mutas, they hit the 4th base. Turrets aren't ready. Yeah, the turrets, they were delayed. No turrets, no anti-air. And you can see Wayne just pulling Kiwian apart. Valkyries, they responded, they will clean this up completely. Yeah, even the Marines aren't necessary. Jesus. Every muta goes down. But I would say the Spy Army out of position here. The Lurkers, they're the real problem. Okay, he's going for the production. BCs are trying to hold on. Yamato is not researched. Likewise, no Science Vessel. And if Wayne can shut down these starports, that can be game. Stays at 1. Gets 1 starport. BCs that hold the line. Second starport goes down to 1 starport left. And it's also under fire. Yeah, the Bio Army just now coming in. Again, 0 Science Vessels. Starport goes down at 0 starports left. And Wayne just gaining more ground. And all of this came down to the 1 Nidus. It all came down to the fact that Kiwian, he did not have vision in the main base. He did not see his entire island. And 1 Nidus can end the game. Kiwian, he was setting up beautifully going into Mass BC, and he should have, but yeah, wasn't quite able to pull it off. Rax is going to be going down. Again, barely any production left. And Wayne, he's done it. He has broken his opponent. Siege mode will not finish researching. There's barely anything left in the main base. BCs are trying to hold their own, but Wayne, he can just rebuild, he can remax, he can just keep making more Hydras. And keep reinforcing through those Nidus worms. It's going to be 24 SCV kills at the same time. We have lurkers here in each of the bases. Wreaking havoc in the mineral lines. Getting 35 SCV kills. Finally, Wayne, he does back off for a moment, but he's really just dragging the army onto creep. They're getting 57. 57 SCV kills. Ay, ay, ay. Did I say 57? 72. Oh my god. 72 SCVs. And that's everything. That's going to be everything. That's going to be the economy crippled. We do see Kiwian attempting to rebuild his production. We have more starports on the way, trying to rebuild, trying to recover. And Kiwian does have a bank, but the bank is finite. The reality is that he has no income. He has no way to replenish his army. Not after he burns through that bank. As everything's flashing red. More Nidus swarms. The original Nidus is still up and running. Going for the armories. And there's no transition from here. It's still just like Hydra Tech. Still just Hydra Lurker. Extra upgrades on the way. Could do with a little bit more saturation. But the Hydras, they keep pushing in. Now, the starports have been rebuilt, and we do have a couple of BCs on the way, but as you can see, this is the issue, is there's no bank. Kiwian's broke. Kiwian, he's broke. He has 2,000 minerals, but minerals, they mean nothing. Right now, it's all about the gas, and gas income is, this is it. Just 2 gases here. You can see that there's no gas income here at the natural base. Likewise, at the third base, no gas income either. So there's just no gas income. So he can't afford BCs. Kiwian, he cannot afford it. Siege mode was researched. If they wanted to, they could just follow this path and go straight for the 4th base, to be honest. Like the tanks, they do not protect the 4th. 4th base is not protected. Corruptor production has begun, and now going for a more secure answer here to the BCs. Here's the scan. Oh, they catch reinforcing SCVs. Tanks go down. Factories are being camped. And Kiwian, he's now on 1 base. He's stuck on his 4th base. Moving in with the BCs. Remember, there is no Yamato. He did not research. Another base goes down. And Kiwian, he's coping. He's coping a little bit here, trying to pull off whatever he can with these BCs. Corruptors, they dive in, they get 1 BC goes down, and GG Wayne, he will take a lead in the series. He will take game number 1. Whew, GG. Getting an intense game 1, and honestly, I really liked Kiwian's position. Like, it all made sense for Kiwian to blindly go into his stim timing, into his bio, from there going into his Valkyries, then into Mass BC. He shut down the Mutas. Honestly, it was just a really, really strong early game out of Kiwian. But he did not have buildings in his main base. He did not have vision in the main, and 1 Nidus, end of the game. It was just that 1 Nidus storm got up. Suddenly the production was on fire. GG. GG, well played. Wayne does snowball from there, and that leads us into game number 2. Let's go. We'll see if Kiwian can bounce back. Just catching with the chat. Oh, hello, late Chrononauts. Gah, baby gah. Counter spelled. Kiwian, glad he's still around. It would also be cool to have players like Jdong, TY, players that went back to Brood War in these events. I think they have been hosting some show matches. Like, if you recall, there's been some Chijik events that feature players like Mini and like MC. I guess that was last year, back like, Jesus, what, like 7 months ago? It's been a while. It's been a while. But what I will say is that I do think that there's a high chance that you might be seeing those players in show matches, specifically in the Korean scene. For those that are unaware, there was a Chijik streamer kind of showdown. This was last week, a couple of days ago, with Crank, with Kiwian, with JYP, and with Nada. and they didn't get pro players together, but they got other streamers, like other big like Korean streamers, to play StarCraft Evolution. It was really successful. So I can see that happening, where like they bring on, like, I don't know, like a Bisu or Jaedong or something like that, just for like a show match here and there, just to, like, you know, bring excitement. I say that, oh, never mind. We'll get into it. We'll get into our intros first. But I have to correct myself. But this morning in the bottom left hand corner of Stillfid, we have our red Zerg player. We have our red Zerg leading the series 1-0. It is Wayne. And spawning in the top side of Stillfid, we do have as well, we do have the Brood War Terran player, the South Korean Terran. It is Kiwian. I have to correct myself because I just realized something. I'm curious if anyone else caught it. I was talking about the Chijik show matches. Chijik is, for those that don't know, it's basically like Twitch. It's like the Twitch of Korea, or maybe I should say like maybe like a Twitch competitor on Korea, just because Twitch doesn't exist on Korea, or in Korea. But a lot of the players that I just mentioned, a lot of the Brood War players, like, you know, your Jaedong, your Bisu, your Flash, they're not on Chijik, they're on Soup. Like, Soup and Chijik, they are the two biggest platforms, they're the two biggest streaming platforms in Korea, and they are competitors. And it is Chijik who's been hosting these show matches and featuring their streamers, so I will have to correct myself that they're probably going to limit themselves to people that stream on Chijik, and the Brood War players that I just mentioned, they stream on Soup, so because of that, yeah, we might see some featured, but it'll depend on where they stream and on what platform they're on. So we'll see. So that's going to be the caveat to that. So I do think we're going to get more show matches in Korea for StarCraft Evolution, but again, it does seem like Chijik is more interested and Soup isn't. Like, Soup is where all the Brood War is, and that's what they're all concerned about. I don't know if there's much interest on the Soup platform to host those kind of show matches. So, yeah, just bear that in mind. Bear that in mind. There's in a way like a bit of a split between the content creators over in Korea, just because of the platforms that they're on. So that is a factor. Meanwhile, we do have Wayne. We do have Wayne across the map. It does open up, I believe, with a Roach Warren. Am I crazy? Did he cancel? Could be crazy. Going there first. Okay, so I swear I saw a Roach one. I think he canceled the Roach one and instead going into a very fast lair. And there it is. There's the Roach Warren now on the way. I'm pretty sure he started this earlier and then canceled to start the lair. Something like that happened. Regardless, the SCV Scout does not confirm the tech. Oh, there it is. Yeah, there's the Roach Warren that got canceled, instead going for a later Roach push instead. Meanwhile, Kiwian, he's setting up. Remember, Kiwian, he scouted the initial Roach Warren that got cancelled, and he is terrified. He's setting up back at home. Bunkers being thrown down, mass bio on the way. It's going to be a 3-rack sim timing out of Kiwian, and we'll see if Wayne can handle this. Now, because it's a later Roach Warren, this is a defensive Roach Warren initially, we just see Wayne is droning. Wayne is droning, Wayne is macroing, Wayne is not pushing, and Kiwian, he is waiting for a move out that's not really coming. Now, Roach-based openers I do really like against Brood War Terran, just because this stim build and this stim timing has been very trendy and very popular. Roach-based openers have been very safe and very successful against them, so Wayne is being more defensive. Roach speed is on the way, scan reveals Roach Warren. We can see Wayne taking a third base. I'm not so certain that Wayne is going to move out there. I think he might just make roaches and then start taking gases and drone up. We'll see. We'll keep an eye on it. The Soup, it lies though. True. When I say Soup, I mean SOOP, but yes. The Soup lies. Chijik does not. Aye. But the show matches, and depending on what platform you're on, that will kind of determine like what you're gonna be invited for and things of that nature. So always important to bear that in mind. It's different ecosystem, different setup that they have over in Korea. But now that we do have a bit of a supply block, but we do see that Kiwian, again, he's being he's being hyper defensive. Unfortunately, a big misread here. As we mentioned before, because Kiwian saw the earlier Roach Warren, that's why he set up as defensively as he did. Now he saw the follow-up, and again, he's just fully walling up here, throwing down more bunkers, getting into siege mode. The initial stim timing has been missed, so he didn't miss his timing, and now he's just building up defensively. Wayne, on the flip side, he has been droning. He's been taking his gases and taking up from Roach Ravager into Roach Ravager Infestor. Likewise, squeezing out drones, saturating that third base. Kiwian, he finally breaks out, and we'll see what he can get done. Chijik versus Sun, a battle for the H. Ah, no. Let's go. Which is more tasty? Which is more savory? True. Making me hungry. Ay, ay, ay. But we do have that hive now on the way. Wayne, he is very slowly droning. This is my biggest concern for Wayne. If you can see here, Wayne, he's been very, very scared to drone. He's been very scared to drone. Like, he's barely been saturating this third base. Now he's droning, but these drones are late. So late saturation at the third. It looks like Wayne was scared of a two-base win from his opponent. So in a way, both players have been playing scared. We see that Kiwian was getting ready for a push that never happened. Wayne was also getting ready for a push that didn't happen either. Like, like they're both kind of playing chicken right now, and no one's flinching, not yet. So now finally Wayne drones, now getting a fourth base. I would say that Wayne, he's the first to start like working towards a greater game, a longer game state. Meanwhile, Kiwian is still stuck on two bases. No third CC yet. He is taking up from tanks into science vessels into irradiate. He's getting there. Likewise, going for a drop, I believe, just barely spotted by the Roach. Kiwian trying to break out. We do see a Wayne with that hive going into not Vipers, but going into Ultra Tech. That is where science vessels do come into play. We'll get into it as the drop does move out. Basically, Irradiate is similar to like Parasitic Bomb. I say similar, of course it is limited to biological units, but another big difference between something like Power Bomb and something like Irradiate, which actually comes into play with how you want to play it out. So meanwhile, drop does come back in. Third CC is going to be delayed, Wayne getting distracted. But one of the big differences is the fact that with a Parasitic Bomb, if it kills a unit, the Power Bomb stays active. The Parasitic Bomb stays active in the air and does still continue to deal splash damage. Meanwhile, Irradiate doesn't. If Irradiate kills a unit, Irradiate runs out. It will like fizzle out instead. So that is kind of like a something to consider. That is typically why you do see Irradiates on some other key units that have more HP, not on Zerglings and not on Banelings, but on units like Ultras, for example. So Ultras are typically like the ideal target for something like Irradiate. Another thing to bear in mind is that this isn't Lingbane Ultra, this is Roach Ravager Ultra, so even Irradiates on the Ultras won't be as effective because the Roaches are going to be safe from that, right? The Ultras, they're going to be doing AoE damage to the units around them, and the Ultras, they should not be standing next to the Roaches. It's not as Ling heavy. You know, science vessels, they move out. And they're getting irradiated here on the Ravager. Nice splits. Does avoid the damage. I'm concerned about Kiwian being a little bit too wasteful here. Like, he's not really doing anything meaningful with these irradiates, and I'm concerned that he's going to run out of NG, and when he needs it most, that's when he has nothing left. So, I'm concerned about what just happened. Like, he just spent 2 irradiates, and now he only has 1 left. And now Wayne is moving in, and there's the okay, he's got 1 more science vessel. Irradiate goes off on the Ultra. There we go, there's the final Irradiate. And Wayne just commits. Oh, pulls back for now. But again, these Irradiates seem a little bit premature because they're being thrown down before the fight. So Wayne, he has the freedom to do this. Like, there's no pressure. He can just split off. He can just split off his units. He's just tanking the damage. There we go. But he can just split off and then move in. Yeah, he breaks down that front door, takes down the bunkers, trying to get on top of the tanks. Yeah, kindness plating is done, and now the zero radiates. Like, this is when you need to radiate to deter the army, but zero radiates left. Kiwi and Heel's just a little bit too trigger happy. Tank line goes down, and Wayne breaks through. Wayne breaks through. Again, those radiates that were just too soon. They were just far too soon. They didn't achieve anything. Now the Ultras, they break down that front door. They're busting into the natural. They're catching up more bio. Yeah, Kiwi, he got too excited, Pat. He got too excited. You know, irradiated too soon. And no one was satisfied. No. There we go. We do get a final radiates on the main army, but alas, the Ultra does pull away. Third base gets broken, and Wayne, he overwhelms. He overwhelms the army, breaks through the third, breaks through the natural, now getting on top of the production. Does get on top. And alas, Kiwi, he has nothing left. He has nothing left. I mean, now these radiates are doing more. As you can see, they're actually dealing with the Lings, dealing with the Ultras, but it's too late, man. It's too little too late at this point. The damage has been done. Kiwi has been broken. Boys are being pulled into the Ultras. And Wayne popping off here with a strong 2-0 against a player like Kiwi. Very impressive here. I mean, again, game 1 was close. Game 1 came down to lack of vision. Here in game 2, it was just very tense. Very tense. Very much so both players kind of scared of each other. Once again, going into Mass BC. Let's go. Mass BC on the way, but it's too late. GG gets called, and Wayne, he breaks through, and he will take the 2-0. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Does a radiate end? It does. A radiate just lasts a long time. The duration is quite long on a radiate. But again, ideally, you do want to wait for your opponent to be looking to commit into a fight, because then you can either punish the opponent for committing to the fight or delay the push and force Wayne to like back off and to wait out the irradiate to peel off those Ultras. Again, I'm not too fond of the idea. If you remember, Kiwin, he moved out early on before any kind of major engagement, and he irradiated like groups of like Ravagers. Like he just targeted like a Ravager here, a Ravager there, and he was doing some damage, but like he wasn't really doing anything meaningful with it. I think he killed like 2 Roaches and like 2 Ravagers, and that just meant that those were irradiates that weren't ready for the main fight, and like every irradiate counts when it comes to that defense against Mass Ultra. GG, well played. With that, Wayne does take the 2-0, and Wayne does advance on to the semi-finals. Let's go. Let us go. As we have Wayne and Classic in the upper semifinals, but we have yet to determine who will face off in the lower semifinals. We still have some more matches ahead of us here. Up next is going to be SHIN versus BratOK in another ZVT. Let's go. SHIN, of course, I would say being the highest rated Zerg player in this bracket. I would say he is the number 2 Zerg player in StarCraft Evolution, second only to Dark. But I'll be honest, I haven't seen SHIN in a couple of months, at least in StarCraft Evolution. Maybe I say a couple of months, maybe like a month, maybe a little bit more than that. SHIN, he has not been the most active player in the StarCraft Evolution League, so I'm happy to see him here and now. We'll see how he compares. And as spawning in the top left-hand corner of Vermeer, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg. It is SHIN. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Terran player, the Brood War Terran, for Team StarCom. It is BratOK. There you go. Why was the duck mad when he got his soup? They forgot his quackers. No. No. Pull first. Pull first opener here to SHIN. But yes, Irradiate does end. It just lasts a long time, as do a lot of spells. A lot of the Brood War spells, like, they last so long, which does make them more powerful in a sense. Whether it's Storm, whether it's Irradiate, what else am I thinking of? The Slow, Ensnare. That's it, Ensnare. Plague, Dark Swarm. Duration is quite long compared to anything SE2 related. So now we are going to be moving out. BratOK does scout bottom right. Right, I should also emphasize, welcome one all to Vermeer. This is a 4-player spawn map. We have bottom left, bottom right, top left, 4-player spawn map. So BratOK checks bottom right. He will find SHIN nowhere to be found. SHIN moves his first overlord towards top right as well, also finding an empty location. And SHIN moves his second overlord towards the bottom left. He will eventually find BratOK. He will find him. Meanwhile, with the early spawning pool, early roaches. Okay, so it's going to be a roach rush here from SHIN. Remember, SHIN, he did open pool first. Before hatchery, before gases, it was a pool first build, so hyper aggression here by SHIN. And by the time the roach horn is done, he will find out where his opponent has spawned in. And we can see BratOK, he scouts bottom right first, then he scouts top right, and he does not find SHIN. Very unlucky here. This means that the scout of the tech, the scout of the all-in, or the scout of the rush, is late for BratOK. So this is where RNG comes into play, where BratOK, he just gambled, he rolled the dice, and unfortunately, you know, it is a gamble, and didn't roll well.
Add-on complete.
Oh, the nostalgia from that sound, that was beautiful. SCV does get in, SCV confirms, now he knows, now he's aware here of the roaches. Back it up, we need bunkers here, most likely on the high ground. Setting up in the low ground, this is going to be a tough hold here, especially because this is a late reaction and a late scout. So roaches are already moving in, and will this bunker even finish? Oh boy. As BratOK will try to make a stand on the low ground instead. The reason why I would say a high ground defense is because you can just lift the CC. Like, you don't have to defend this location, you just lift the CC and pull off a defense on the high ground instead, with that chance to miss working against SHIN. So you can have that high ground advantage. Bunker does finish up, and we'll see if BratOK can hold. If he can, I'll be very impressed. Be very impressed here. It's only one Ravager. True. Oh, Vulture goes down. Vulture does fall. Bile on the bunker. Does focus down 2 Marines. Nice target firing here. Does get the Ravager. BratOK, he's holding on. Roaches, they rush. They just rush past. they just move on past. They bust into the main. Oh, they kite back. SCV is going to be going down. And how many SCV kills? Getting up to 4, 5, getting up to 6 SCV kills. Ay, ay, ay. It's going to be 6 SCVs and I believe 2 Vultures. Oh. So it's going to be 2 Vultures, 7 SCVs. Every Marine goes down. More boys are being pulled. More SCVs falling. And this will be cleaned up, but it's been worth it. It's more than worth it here for SHIN. Remember, behind the SHIN has been droning. Like, SHIN, this is not an all-in. This is a rush. A bit of a difference here. There was a roach rush into droning, into saturation. Now he's taking his gases. SHIN does have a massive economic lead. The damage was worth it. And now the pressure is on BratOK. Now he's going to be embracing mech, as to be expected. BratOK, he's a bit of a mech boy. He's going into Mass Vulture, and he needs to get some counter damage. He needs to get into a mineral line or bait the roaches into spider mines. He needs to do something here with these vultures. These vultures, they do push. Roaches in position. I'm loving the whole position micro there for the roaches. Oh my god. As the spider mines, they do zone the army back, just waiting for detection. There it is, Overseer has arrived. And the spider mines will be cleaned up. So nice cleanup. Spider-Man's dealt with. Back at home, we have 2 more factories on the way, going into mech, going into siege. Let's go into siege mode, into tank production. And so far, SHIN, he's looking solid here. Now getting his 3rd base, building up his roaches, his hatchery here just for larva, just for the time being. Yes, vultures, they do get into the main. Getting a drone. Getting 1 drone so far. Nothing major. At least they get a scout. And what's important here, no drones. 2 base all in. SHIN, he's going for a 2-base all in. This base is just for lava. Just for lava here, massing out more roaches, sending everything across the map, and one way or another, the game is about to end. And because of the economic damage done early on, SHIN is in a better position. He's just had a better economy here, so now this all in is just fueled even greater, even stronger. And BratOK, he's still struggling. Does have a couple of tanks. He's got 3 tanks sieged up. Bunker on the low ground. The first tank is going to be piled. Second tank as well. Second tank as well. Yeah, there's almost nothing left here. The Wiles, they connect. They shut down the final tank. And with that, there's only a handful of Marines, a handful of SCVs. SHIN, he has broken through. He has broken the back of BratOK. Oh, contamination. Contamination into the main. GG gets called, and SHIN will take game number 1. GG. Just a very strong start from SHIN. As a reminder, BratOK, it was a late scout of the Roach Rush. He did not realize what was going on, and SHIN was able to get across the map and wreak havoc. He got 7 SCV kills, he got Vultures, he got Marines, and as he was wreaking havoc, denying mining time and killing SCVs, he was just droning. He was just droning up back at home. He droned up to 2-base saturation into a 2-base all-in. 2-base all-in, and unfortunately BratOK, he was still trying to stabilize. He was still recovering from the damage done in the early game. It was just too much damage. It took him too long to recover. GG. GG. With that, we're now jumping into game number 2. We'll see if BratOK can fight back and bring us to the ace match. So we're getting into Amygdala. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Amygdala, we do have our Brood War Zerg player, our South Korean Zerg, leading the series 1-0. It is SHIN. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the blue Terran player, the SE2 Terran, down in the series. We'll see if we can bounce back and force the ace match. It is BratOK. Let's go. Let us go. As we do load into one of the larger maps in the map pool, larger map, more macro oriented, more prone to longer and later games. But where are we headed? Now we see. Now we know we have 1 SCV across the map. This is a peculiar build. I'm curious. Now, in this kind of setup, from the side of BratOK, what could we see from this point? I would assume proxy 2 racks, maybe proxy 3 racks, but it's only 1. It's only 1 racks. Now into double gas. Are we planning to go into a proxy 1-1-1, like racks into factory, into starport? Is that the plan here? Otherwise, there's no room for an add-on, like, so it's not going to be proxy marauder. He can go marine into the main based on the rally. That's what I'm assuming. But are we going to go into everything else proxied as well? That's what I'm curious by. I'm waiting to see where's the factory going to be thrown down. Because a singular proxy racks is crazy. Okay. We do have the rally. Reaper's moving in. And we'll see what BratOK can achieve. Now, this dynamic is going to be an interesting one just because, as you know, SHIN has no queens. Queens are a very different unit here in Brood War, so Reaper defense in the early game can be more difficult to deal with. We can see BratOK, he does throw down his factory back at home, but we'll see if this is worth it. I'm not too familiar with this dynamic, but we'll see how many drones he can kill, if any. It's going to be up to SHIN to minimize losses. Bunkers thrown down in the mineral line. Interesting. Boys are being pulled. Reaper's on the way. Handling production has begun for SHIN. Again, he went for a standard opener, hatch gas pull into a third. The SCVs are targeted. The bunker will not finish, and without the bunker, I feel like this is already lost kind of a lot of its teeth. 1 drone gets picked up. Just 1 drone so far, and yeah, just 1 worker. Not quite worth it here for BratOK. He's going to be zoned away, and SHIN holds. SHIN does hold on. Now, you can argue that some economic damage was dealt. Denied mining time. True, mining time was denied, but I'm just a little bit concerned here for BratOK. I mean, he's going to play mech anyway, I suppose, so I guess it's okay. It's such a late natural, though. Again, racks into factory, into starport, into a very late CC. Like, this is so committed. Like, BratOK, he has hurt his own economy quite heavily to pull this off. Meanwhile, link speed is almost done. We have a lair on the way on 2 bases. So really fast lair here by SHIN. Reaper has to get the hell out of here. As in 10 seconds, link speed is done. Behind this BratOK going into his own Hellions. We have a defensive sunken colony on the way. Now with this fast layer, are we going into mutas, right? We have two options. Either, I mean, we'd already have a Hydra Den if the plan was to go into Lurker Tech, so it looks like Ling muta here from SHIN. As he gets one more drone. Not bad. 2 in total. Lings they punish, and Lings they get the kill. Whew, so nice catch there from SHIN. BratOK, he's still on one base. He's supply blocked, going into Cloaked Banshees. Meanwhile, as we mentioned, 2 base muta. Now, did BratOK see the lair timing? He did not. Oh, he did not see the lair. So BratOK is in the dark. He has no idea what's going on. Now, he did see the gases, but technically this could still be Hydra Tech. That's the problem here. This could still be like Hatch Tech going into Hydras. So BratOK seeing the gases is not the biggest of tells. So BratOK is still in the dark. And you know what my biggest concern is when it comes to muta play? What shoots up? Well, the Rax is in the air, true. There are Hellions, they don't shoot up. There are Banshees, they don't shoot up. Nothing shoots up. Nothing here shoots up, and we have another factory on the way, so we're going into, ideally, Battle Mech. Right now, we have to wait to see when are Cyclones made. Cyclones are going to be necessary here to deal with the mutas. Otherwise, SHIN is going to snowball out of control. Hellions are denied. Searching for the third base that doesn't exist. We need those Cyclones. Remember, you do need a tech lab to make a Cyclone. No tech labs yet. So Lings, they do flood in. They flood in. They go for the surround. They catch out one of the Hellions. And they get one. Almost 2. Going for the mules. They didn't quite get much done. Second factory has completed. We're going for the add-on swap. And this should be for Cyclones. But mutas are already on the way. Go for the swap. Get him on there. Banshee does hit the main. Mutas have arrived. They're revealed. And now he knows. It's going to be 3 drone kills. And mutas are now moving out. Back at home, we have Widowmine production. There's a Cyclone production as well. Again, this is going to be the anti-air. 2 Widowmines and a Cyclone. And these mutas, they can bob and weave and just go for the economy instead. Okay, Viking as well. Just all things that shoot up. Wouldn't mind Cyclone Viking. Scan reveals the setup here. We're going to be switching into, oh my god, into Hydra Tech. So he's going to be going down. SHIN finally expands. That's going to be 6 SCV kills already. The Cyclone, oh my god. Widowmine does not go off. Cyclone takes a lot of hits. Cyclone actually went down. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, no Cyclone. 13 SCV kills. And again, this is all because it was a late scout at the natural. It took BratOK too long to figure out what was happening. As he had no idea, Widowmines are slowly pushing forward. You can see BratOK, he wants to try to bait the mutas into the Widowmines. Oh! My shot goes up. Has a connection. Gets one. Takes out one muta. But BratOK, he's stuck on one base. Like, there's no mining in the main. There is no mining. Turret is done. Cyclone moves in. Mutas, they don't quite get the Cyclone or the Viking. They have to back off. So at all this, we're switching into Ling Hydra. Remember, we're not making mutas anymore. They were just a stepping stone. Hellions, they're overwhelming. They take down some of the Hydras. We have 3 Hydras going down. Not bad. It's a close hold here for SHIN. Can he protect the mineral line? Drones are getting roasted. Losing 2 drones so far. Oof. Yeah, just losing 2. Nothing major. Yeah, SHIN holds. Yeah, SHIN, he holds on. Only 2 drone kills. Alas, he needed so much more. As SHIN, he deflects the Hellions. Most of the mutas went down, but that was worth it. SHIN has got 57 workers to the 35 of BratOK. SHIN has a very comfortable lead. He has a very comfortable lead here. Behind this, we have the Hive on the way. Of course, Queen's Nest is done. Soon to be getting into Queen production. And BratOK, he's got some catching up to do. A lot of catching up to do here. Again, it was 16 SCV kills in total. That was an entire mineral line going down. So he's going to be stuck here on 2 bases. SHIN getting a 4th. Getting into his Hydra upgrades. Hydra speed. Spoiled Broodlings being researched as well. Let's go. I wasn't sure if that needed an upgrade, but apparently it does. Queen production has begun. Again, queens are a very versatile units. They can ensnare, they can spawn broodlings, they can parasite. I guess technically they can infest command centers. I've never seen the infest actually come into play in StarCraft Evolution, but maybe one day. I do know that I think it was like 1 or 2 patches ago they buffed it just to like incentivize players to use it. Yeah, no, Infest Command Center was recently buffed. When I say buffed, I mean the Infested Terrans. I believe that was they were improved. Alongside the ability to infest as well. Queens are building up. That's gonna be a lot of queens. SHIN, he's breaking out. Now, pushing into these siege lines is not going to be too easy to accomplish. Typically, we would need something like... Oh god, I said Nero loud. Darkstorm, that's it. We need Darkstorm to actually try to break these siege lines and to get up close. Get up close and personal. Defilers, that's it. I kept thinking Devour. I'm like, I know it's not a Devour. Defiler. It's been too long since I've seen one. It's been too long. I'm forgetting their names. That would be typically how you break this position, but that is not the case here, not yet. Instead, just reliant on Hydras and Queens. Speaking of, we have 13 I feel like we have too many. We have 13 queens. It's crazy. The queens have built up. There's the Defiler mound, now on the way. So we did mention how we would typically need Defilers to break this, and now SHIN, he's working towards that. Without Defilers, it's not going to be a pretty sight trying to break the siege line. But he's going for it. Who's that? Hola, hola. How are we doing? ¿Todo bien? Sí, sí, papi. Todo bien, papi. Todo bien. Ah. Hopefully you're doing well as well. As we do see SHIN going to be the first to max out. He's on a comfortable economy. BratOK does break out and take his 3rd, and now working on a 4th CC. And we'll see how SHIN handles this army. As Defiler production has begun. That's a lot of Hydras. Pushing in. And again, SHIN, he doesn't want to be too premature. He doesn't want to try to break the siege line without his spellcasters. Queens are moving forward. Remember, they can spawn broodlings, true. Queens, they lead the charge. Yeah, does spawn. Oh, takes down all the tanks. Oh my god. Yeah, takes down all the tanks one after the other. Jesus. Who needs Defilers when you have Mass Queen? I wasn't too certain. I mean, hey, how many queens do we have again? 10? No, even more than that. 13 queens. GG gets called, just insta-kills all the tanks. And SHIN, he breaks through that defensive line. We never saw the Defilers. Smurge Defilers that were still just now popping out. And GG. GG, well played. Ooh, SHIN takes the series 2-0. Does take the series. Oh, feels Defilers, man. We didn't quite get there. But regardless, that will lead us here into our final best of 3. Again, SHIN, he will advance on to the semifinals. And up next, we do have Zodiant versus MinoVK. Let's go. Let us go. Unfortunately, when it came to BratOK setup, again, like it came down to the initial mutas. If you recall, the mutas, they did kill 16 SCVs, so he was stumbling his way into a later game state. Ideally, if he was in a better economic position, he could get into his own ghost production, go into tank mech. Sorry, mech ghost is the more ideal kind of late game army composition you would want. Then you would have like EMPs, you'd have counterplay there to try to deal with the spellcasters, whether they are defilers or whether they're queens as well. But alas, in the end, he was still stumbling his way there. He couldn't quite afford that. SHIN was just too far ahead. GG. GG, well played. And with that, we are now getting ready for the final quarterfinals match. Let's go. Up next is going to be Zardiant and BratOK facing off on Holy World for the first time. Let's go. For the first time. What are those at the ends, Broodlords? I do apologize if I didn't explain it. Queens are a very different unit in Brood War. So in SE2, Queens are an early game unit. In Brood War, they're more of like a... They're not quite a Hive Tech unit, but like, they're more or less like a quote-unquote Hive Tech units, as you can get them before Hive, to be fair. But Queens are spellcasters. They have no attack. They're kind of like High Templar in that sense, or like Infestors in that sense. They have a couple different spells, but the spell that we saw there was Spawn Broodlings, where they... as you saw, they do kind of, I think lore-wise, it's kind of like they implant a unit, and they kind of like burst open, and they turn into broodlings, basically. Insicle's unit makes broodlings, yeah. It's like think like Alien, right, with like a chest burster sort of thing. I think that's like what it's meant to be, where the unit explodes and erupts into broodlings. But here we go, spawning in the top right hand corner of Holy World, we do have the Brood War Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Psystorm Gaming. It is BratOK. Buenas, papi. Let's go. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have the yellow Terran player, the SC2 Terran representing Hokago T team. It is Zardiant. Let's go. Let us go. As you saw, it does cost a lot of energy, and I believe each queen was able to do it once, I want to say, as there were 13 queens in total, so, I mean, even one of each would be more than enough to break through that siege line. So, very energy heavy, but was able to pop off. And with that, we are going to be loading into Holy World. Now, for those that are unfamiliar, Holy World is another 4-player spawn map. This is one of the more often vetoed maps of the map pool. We very rarely get to see it. Again, you can spawn in top left, top right, bottom left as well. The biggest feature here, I would say, is that the main base is on the low ground. Like, it's a really crazy setup here, and a really awkward setup as well. So the low ground main, and you go up into the natural, you have a free pocket base bottom left, and you have a pseudo pocket base on the right hand side as well. I say pseudo pocket base, I mean, I guess it is a pocket expansion, but it is vulnerable, it is exposed to the elements to the rest of the map. So it can be abused, it can be harassed. So not as safe of a location. Likewise, there are also disruption webs. I don't know if you saw them, but there are these more electrical storm effects. Yep, there we go, on the ground. These are neutral disruption webs, and they can come into play when it comes to big engagements in the center of the map. There's also a neutral CC, and if we had a Zurich player, then, you know, maybe like infested command center could come into play, but I've never seen this CC become infested or anything like that. I've never seen it really kind of impact a game yet. To be fair, we haven't had too many games on Holy World. It is one of the newer maps in the SCL map pool, compared to like Sylphid or some of the others. You know what, Dragoons, they do rush past. So far, getting a couple of SCV kills, not bad. Yeah, they kite well. 3 SCVs do go down, getting, oh, almost a 4th. So we did have our initial Dragoon opener into our expansion. Later, Nexus here by BratOK. And once again, does rush past the bunkers. Yeah, he just ignores the bunkers. Goes to the mineral line, getting 6 SCV kills. And the Bio Army is struggling. Tank is on the way. More SCVs going down. Again, Dragoons are tanky enough that they can just walk past. And the tank will eventually clean this up, but this is brutal damage here. Again, Zardian stuck on a 1 base economy, 8 SCV kills, and this makes up for the late expansion of MinoVK. Again, MinoVK, he needs to get this damage done, otherwise he'd just fall behind. Now, he will lose all these Dragoons, but that's 13 SCVs! Oh my god! And in the end, MinoVK, he doesn't just even up the worker count, he exceeds. He's able to exceed, he does take an economic lead here over his opponents. Getting another Marine. And back at home, he's got 29 probes. He has a 10 worker lead on his opponents, just over a 10 worker lead. Meanwhile, bunker is empty, SCV is going down, and before we can really embrace this game, this could just be too much. This could just be game here and now. Ay, ay, ay. Getting 3 SCVs, 9 mining, picking up more Marines, came to the production. Another tank is on the way, but there's only 1 tank to defend. And this is getting out of hand. And now again, I was looking forward to seeing some more of Zardian and Minnow would just face off, but this is just far too much, far too quickly. That tank is exposed, it's going to be targeted down. The tank falls, massive pickup. And that's all the Zardian had left. It's all he had left here. As he does load up that bunker. Technically, if MinoVK wanted to, he could just rush past again. Now just going for more economic damage. Ah, he just muled. The mules are punished. Ah, no. And again, Minnow is just rallying across the map at this point. Just rallying across. This has gotten out of hand. It's gotten out of control. So we have some counter aggression here. The Banshee does get across. Banshee gets across the map. Not bad. Getting 9, getting 10 worker kills. The Banshee getting a lot of counter damage done. Getting 12, getting 13. Oh my god. Observatory did just complete. We have the Observer on the way. And Zardian, I mean, he's still in a really rough position. As now we're in the main. And more SCVs are falling. Zardian losing every single SCV. That 1 Banshee across the map is a saving grace, but I don't know if this is enough. It's good damage. It's 18 probes. It's insane damage for 1 Banshee, but it shows just how far behind Zardian is because this is not enough damage to equalize. It's impressive, but not enough. GG gets called, and MinoVK, he will take a lead in the series 1-0. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Mindle, he will take a lead. Again, unfortunately, the early gateway aggression did just snowball very quickly out of control. I say quickly, it did snowball slowly out of control, just escalating over time. And initially it was okay, initially, you know, acceptable losses, but very quickly it got out of hand. It did get out of hand, and with that, GG, well played. MinoVK does take a lead, and now we're jumping into game number 2. Let's go. Buena. Let's go. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Vermeer, we have our Brood War Protoss player. Representing Sidestorm Gaming, leading the series 1-0, it is MinoVK. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent, we have the yellow Terran player. Representing Hokago T-Team down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back and make a series out of this. It is Zardian. Ooh, and MinoVK going for the proxy. Dead set in the center of the map. Now, just like on Holy World, this is another 4-player spawn map. Bottom left, bottom right, top left. There are 4 possible spawn locations, and Minnow, he goes for the proxy, right dead set in the center, eventually finding his opponent and directing his proxy in that direction. Oh. There we go. Gateways have been thrown down. Does go for the diagonal scout. He will go across the map and won't quite find Zardian yet, but he's looking. Searching for his opponent. Zardian back home going for a double gas opener. Racks into what could be a faster factory before CC. Curious if that's the case. So Minnow scouts top right, and now he's checking top left. So he will find his opponent in time. We'll find him. As we mentioned, double gas opener, so we are setting up here into a faster reactor. into a faster factory. So a bit of a safer build here by Zodiant, which is going to be ideal. It's very tempting to go for an economic build here on a 4-player map, but he doesn't risk it. There we go. Factories on the way into faster Hellions, faster Cyclone production. Probe Scout does not quite get vision of the main base. Middle's in the dark. For all Middle knows, there could be a CC further back in the main to be floated down to the low ground. So Middle is not fully aware. Behind this, Zealots are amassing. Gas is being taken eventually into Dragoon production. Now, the ideal for Mindle would be for Zodiant to get his CC on location, because then it could be delayed and then cancelled. Meanwhile, it looks like it's going to be Reactor Reaper Hellion. Very aggressive setup here from Zodiant, as Reapers are building up. Zealots say, don't yet move out. As Reapers able to deal with this. Zodiant, he does SCV Scout, he does confirm there is no natural, there's no expansion. Does spot the shield battery, he sees no gateway either, he knows. Zodiant, yep, bunker immediately. So instant bunker into a 1-1-1, no command center, no expansion. Reapers move out, that's what the shield battery is for. The shield battery will keep everything safe against the Reapers, at least for a time. Here comes the proxy. Here comes the army. Now, there are some missed shots there, so extra shots are required. Depot gets fully healed up, but still getting a couple of SCVs. 3 SCVs do go down. The bunker's going to be denied. Oh, it's going to be close. Just going for the Marines instead. The bunker will complete, but still getting 5 SCV kills. The bunker does finish. The depot goes down. Massive pickoff. Takes down the high yield depot. They're going to be reinforcing, moving in. Oh. As with help of the Cyclone, looks like Zodiant, he will hold for now. Likewise, going 1-1-1 into Cloak Banshee. And in general, going into DT responses or Cloak Banshee responses are really smart in this position, just because what's the detection? You know, where is the detection here? There is no Robo, no Observatory, no Forge, no Stargate. Robo just now on the way, but MinnoVK doesn't really know what's going on. So if he doesn't go for any detection soon, he might be in some trouble here. I mean, we saw that last game, if you recall, with Zodiant popping off with that one Banshee, getting 18 probe kills. It was crazy. We'll see if he can replicate that. Shall see. As Banshees are on the way. Dragoons trying to force their way forward, pushing into the bunker, into the tank. They do get the Cyclone, not bad. Cyclone goes down, checking the vision, they didn't see much. Yeah, they did not spot the starport, but there is an observatory on the way. Now the downside, and I'm sure one of the reasons why we see an observatory, remember, this is game 2. Game 1, we already had Banshees. Like Banshees, they popped off in game 1. They were wreaking havoc. And after game 1, now it's more on the mind, right? It's more on the forefront here of MinnoVK's like kind of thought process. Think of what his opponent's up to. And now he's more mentally prepared for that. Observer has arrived. Banshees are revealed. Zodiant, he breaks out. He's going for his own push. He does pull the boys! Boys are being pulled, commits to his own all-in, and Cloak Banshees are revealed. Dragoons are going to be hunted down. Very nice pickups. Getting 1, getting 2, getting all 3. And MinnoVK is racing back home. His production is out of position. Bearing in mind for Brutal Protoss, you cannot warp in, so your production is limited to where the gateways are. The reinforcements are limited. Likewise, are there any gateways at home to defend? No gateways either. They're just now finishing. Another Dragoon gets caught out. And Zodiant with the counter move. With the counter push. He might just have enough. He might have enough here. Shield batteries are done. Banshees, they head into the main. They one-shot probes. 4 probe kills so far. Zardian parked outside the base. Slowly pushing in. Oh. Getting within range of the shield battery. Let's go. Picking up the shield batteries. Likewise, we can see MindoVK trying to catch reinforcements, but there is a Banshee to defend. To protect the production line. And Zardian, he breaks through. Yeah, he breaks through. The natural base, it's going to be forfeit. There's no saving this. The Zelt legs are done. And Zelte will help here in the defense. Oh my god. Yeah, but the tank shots are insane. Natural's going to go down. Zardian even going for the proxy. Zelte coming from behind. We're going for the surround here. Is it enough? There's still 4 tanks though. They target down the Dragoons. Zelte close the distance. There's still the Banshees as support. And with that, yeah, he holds. He does hold this position. Zardian, he shuts down the army. And he can move in. He can just move in from here. CC's on the way. He's expanding. Zardian going for his natural. MindoVK supply blocked. Oh, yeah. Not like this. The supply block. Zelte force friendly fire. They get 1 tank. Not bad. 1 tank goes down. 2nd tank as well. Oh, it's going to be close. The repairs. Does repair in time. Zardian, he's so close to breaking MindoVK. Boys are being pulled. Dragoons are targeted down. And GG gets called. It's just too much. Zardian, he will break out. He will overwhelm. And we are going to the ace match. Whew, GG. We are going to game 3. And we'll see how this turns out. I mean, it's been hyper-aggression from MindoVK, right? Like, it's been hyper-aggression, Mindle, whether it's a proxy into a 1-base all-in, or whether it's the delayed expansion to, like, Mass Dragoon Rush. Hyper-aggression out of MindoVK. We'll see if that aggression continues coming into the ace match. Or if he calms things down, goes for something more economic, and goes for a slower game instead. Let's go. So we're loading into Sylphid. As spawning in the top side of Sylphid, we do have our red Protoss player representing Sidestorm Gaming being forced into the ace match. We'll see if he can bounce back. It is MindoVK. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the yellow Protoss. Wait, what? Okay, switching gears. Let's go, baby. Let's go. We have the yellow Protoss, the Brood War Protoss, not Terran, representing Hokago T-Team. It is Zardian. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Zardian, he does mix it up here. He does switch gears. Is going into Protoss instead. Show us what you got. Show us what you got. So he's going to be again switching into Brood War Protoss instead. And we'll see what he has up his sleeve. As we do see MindoVK scouting bottom right. Does check the bottom right location. Zardian does check the top side. And Zardian, he will find MindoVK immediately. Does find him. So we go. Probe dips in. As he does pull away for now. Going to be hiding his probe towards the top side, and we see why. Going for the proxy. Let's go. Pylon gets thrown down. Zardian, he's going to commit here to said proxy across the map. Aye. But now back at home, 2 gates. We have 2 gates here in the main. Likewise setting up across the map. Going for the proxy Stargates. That I was not expecting. Okay. Rushing into, I suppose, scouts? I believe scouts, if I'm not mistaken, they 3-shot probes, right? I think it's like 3-shot workers. I'm assuming scout, no corsairs. Corsair won't have as much value here, of course. Interesting. Meanwhile, we do have YoungYakov moving out to 2-gate opener into his adepts across the map. Looking to threaten the shade. There's some decent SimCity here. Robo opener at a YoungYakov. And show us what you got. YoungYakov searching is looking. Scouting towards the top side, and he will come across this. He will eventually find the proxy. Yep, shading in. Shade into the main. Proxy is found. Scout is revealed. Adepts, they do 1-shot. I should say 2 adepts. 2 adepts, they 1-shot probes. 3 probes going down so far. Nice damage. Likewise, YoungYakov is at least fully aware of what's going on, and the Stalker should be getting in position. Yeah, Stalkers are amassing. They're getting ready in the main. Shield battery on the way as well. And Zardi, I don't really see this getting much done here. I mean, scouts to begin with don't have the greatest like anti-ground attack. And they're deflected. Scout is deflected. Zardi, he breaks out towards the south side, getting another scout. Does catch the Stalker, not bad. Stalker getting caught. Yo, shout out to Blakadoos in that. Yeah, baby guy. Shout out to Blakadoos. Resubscribing for 19 months. That's a lot of months. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Blakadoos. Do appreciate it. Gracias, papi, gracias. For always supporting the channel. Thank you. Over a year of support. Almost 2. Gracias. As the Adept does go back in, just rescan the main. No expansion, still no base, still no natural for either player. 1 base versus 1 base. Dragoons, they do bust in. Going for the shield battery. Stalker's a little bit too far behind. Yeah, boys are being pulled. Dragoons, they can still overwhelm. Now they're forced back. So we have scouts on one side, Dragoons on the other. Mino going for his own proxy pylon to reinforce across the map. Scouts, they try to distract. But they're not really getting much done. They get 1 probe. Okay. They get 1 worker. With 2 scouts here, you can 2-shot probes. Can 2-shot. With 3 scouts, you can 1-shot. It's almost there. It's still building up. Meanwhile, YoungYakov does move out with his 2 adepts. Once again, headed towards the main base. The main base is exposed. Okay, 1 probe. Got 1 worker for now. Meanwhile, the boys are being pulled. Adepts, they do trade well for themselves. Getting 5, 6 probe kills. Getting up to almost 7. 6 for now. Nice damage. Zardian, he's running out of steam here. More adepts are warping in, hoping to do the same. Immortals are building up. We have Immortals, we have force fields more importantly. I don't see YoungYakov being broken here. He can hold this position. At this point, Zardian, he may just have to expand. He may just have to expand instead. As Zardian is not actually breaking the main. Adepts are shaded in once again, getting even more damage, and this is killing Zardian. Another 3 probes. Zardian down to 15. Like, not even 1 base economy here. Not even full 1 base saturation. Adepts, they shade out, they can just shade back in. Now, how much will it take for YoungYakov to break out of his main? That's the better question. Blink will help, of course, so Blink is almost done. Getting up to 3 Immortals. Pushing into this many Dragoons, though, is not going to be easy, especially through this choke point. But that's also why I feel like Zardian, he's doing a great job at containing, and I feel like he should be expanding. But I guess it's too late for that at this point. It's too late to expand. He's down to 14 probes. Zardian is still very committed. Oof. Scout gets caught. Taking a lot of hits. Mindle going for it. Let's go! I mean, true, he still had a probe on the map, and he does go for a ninja base. Love to see it. And here we go. BratOK breaks out. He breaks out, locks down the army. Nice force fields. Getting 1, 2, 3, 4 Dragoons. Yeah, the force fields are insane. And Zardian, he's completely cleaned up. The army crumbles. Down to a handful of Dragoons. Down to 3. Down to 2. And down to 1. Down to none. Every Dragoon falls. At the same time that the scouts, they try to counterattack. Oof. Alas, down to 2 scouts. And BratOK is perfectly fine. He's up in workers. He's now up in bases. He's up in army. There's nothing to stop him. Now, pushing into this choke point is still not going to be easy. It's still going to be difficult. Zardian trying to make a final stand. But that's what Blink is for. And unfortunately, Zardian, he has no defensive force fields. Yeah, BratOK just forces his way in, blinks past the wall. That's going to be all that Zardian had left. And GG gets called. BratOK, he will take the series 2-1. He will advance on to the semi-finals. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Zardian popping off, flexing his Terran, flexing his Protoss as well. Again, did go all the way to the ace match, but in the end, BratOK was able to break out. It was an interesting build that we saw on Sylphid, going for the proxy Stargate into proxy Scout. Definitely had potential, and again, I do want to emphasize that Zardian did a great job at containing his opponent, but he could never push in. Specifically on Sylphid, you saw how narrow the entrance to the main base is, and because that 1 sentry is all you need to force field, to lock that area down, to never allow Dragoons into the main base. Likewise, unlike Stalkers, Dragoons, they have no blink, right? They can't force their way in, not the same way that an SC2 Protoss player can. So in the end, he was just containing his opponents. He couldn't really break the main whatsoever, and we saw that the non-stop adept counterattacks were making sure that Zardian, his economy was in check. His economy was never really able to flourish. You could argue that the MVP of that game was the probe, right? That one probe towards the south side, they got the proxy pylon up and running. It's because that pylon that we kept seeing just wave after wave of adepts. Adepts, they just kept getting into the main base, they just kept wreaking havoc, they just kept making sure that Zardian didn't have an economy to expand. I would have said, and I was saying, that at a certain point, Zardian, the best move there would be to just take a natural and try to get ahead economically, but he just kept losing probes. Like, he just couldn't even maintain his 1 base economy. GG. GG, well played. With that, we have our quarterfinals wrapping up, and now we are headed into the semis. Let's go. We're headed into the semifinals, and we have our players waiting for us. Oh, I do have to update though. Bam, beautiful. There we go. So we have our top 4. We have Classic versus Wayne in the upper semifinals, and we have SHIN versus BratOK in the lower semifinals. Here we go. ZVPs all around. Again, Kiwian, he had a good showing earlier, but again, he was caught off guard 1 time too many against Wayne. We had an intense series between SHIN and BratOK. Zardian, he's pinned there as Terran, but I guess he's quote-unquote random. I believe he plays Terran for SC2 and plays Protoss for Brood War, so he does have kind of split races there. And of course, Rebellion went down to Classic. So we're about to indulge our semifinals and our grand finals thereafter. For now, we're going to be going on a break. We're going to be going on a short break, and when we come back, we'll be featuring Classic and Wayne facing off in that upper semis. Take this time to get some snacks, get some food, get some water, drain your disruptors, massage your marines, and we'll be back with that PVZ. See you soon. See you soon. Bye. See you soon. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the semifinals of this week's StarCraft Evolution League number 9 broadcast. Here we go again. We have been covering all the quarterfinals matches. Now we have reached our top 4. We have 4 players remaining here. We have SHIN, BratOK, and also Classic and Wayne. We're jumping into our PVZs, and I'm really excited to see how Wayne performs. Wayne is a player that has caused upsets. He brought down Spirit, he brought down Killian as well. Can he bring down Classic? How is his ZVP looking? We're here to find out. Let's jump in. Let's jump into game 1. Game 1 is going to be on Amygdala. Let's go. Jumping into that first game. And we'll see if anyone can stop Classic and SHIN from facing in the finals. As spawning in the right-hand corner of Amygdala, we have the red Protoss player, the South Korean Protoss. It is Classic. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the Brood War Zerg player, the blue Zerg. It is Wayne. So much StarCraft. See, Papi, see, as always. Live every single day, multiple times a day. Of course, later on this evening, we're going to be live with the Wardy TV Monday. So today we have SCL and Wardy TV Monday. Tomorrow we have Pigasaur. We have the Pigasaur Monday and the Anki Pro Series. Day after that, more StarCraft. 2 times a day, every day for the most part. We do have some half days off, to be fair, as Wayne comes in with the hatch block. Interesting. You don't often see hatch blocks is from the Brood War perspective, so I'm curious to see how this compares. Now, if this was an SC2 Zerg player, I would just assume, okay, just economic opener. This is just a way to disrupt the initial build of Classic, to delay the expansion, and to delay the setup here of Classic. Meanwhile, it's going to be a hatch gas pool here by Wayne. Interesting. Going for the early gas, going for earlier link speed, I would imagine. Potentially into an earlier lair. We'll see what the gas is going to be spent on. As Classic is in position to deny the base, to deny that hatchery. And again, this hatchery here from Wayne should be cancelled. Like, it should just be cancelled. It should not complete. It should not finish. This is just forcing out a Zealot, delaying the nexus of Classic. And there we go. Wayne, he'll expand elsewhere. Going for the triangular third. Meanwhile, across the map, the Zealot is almost out. And this hatchery should be cancelled in time. Is that Cybercore? Cybercore is placed. Again, Wayne just trying to buy as much time as possible here. And, oh, there's a cancel. Whew. Does cancel in time. Classic, he moves out with the probe. Uh-oh. What are we doing? Wait, where are we going right now? We're setting up for a proxy pylon. Now, Classic, he will still expand, but that is a second probe out on the map. This is not standard. This is not normal. And we are going for a proxy setup here, with at least a pylon, and I'm assuming maybe even a gateway. Meanwhile, with the extra gases, I was curious if it was going to be for a fast lair. It is not for a fast lair. We're going for a link speed into a Hydra den, so fast Hydra production out of Wayne. Does double expand, going for his triangular third and going for his natural as well. Lings, they chase down the first probe, but remember, the second probe is hidden, and the second probe does throw down the pylon. The pylon is set. We can now reinforce across the map. How many gateways? Oh, proxy Stargate. Okay. So delayed proxy Stargate out of Classic. Bold move. Going to be rushing into Oracles. That is where the Hydras come into play. Bearing in mind there are no defensive queens early on for the Brood War Zerg, so Hydras are a must to defend against the Oracle shenanigans. I mean, Hydras and Spore Crawlers, of course. So we'll see if Wayne can get there. Classic trying to be active. Does come across the Hydras. The Oracle production has yet to really begin. There we go, Oracle's on the way. Back at him, Classic is setting up. He's throwing down his shield batteries. As Wayne, he's all in. Wayne, he didn't drone. No drones at the natural, no drones at the third base, no drones whatsoever. Just purely Ling Hydra all in. One way or another, the game is about to end. And Wayne is getting caught off guard. Remember, he only has one gateway. Remember, his Stargate is across the map, not at home to defend. Now, this is a double-edged sword. We're about to get really chaotic here, because at home, there's nothing for the Zerg player. These drones will go down. Shield battery is done. Second shield battery is finishing up. The gateway falls. Oh, the adept taking a lot of hits. Going for the pylon instead. Pylon taking a lot of damage. The one adept out of range. Oracle dives in and drones are getting picked off. Wayne has to pull away. And Wayne, he breaks down that front door. He busts into the natural, into the main. Gets away from the shield batteries, picks off the probes. And he's just going straight for the kill. Straight for the heart here of Classic. Going for the main base mineral line. So far, trading well. Killing probes. Oracle's racing back home. 11 drones go down across the map, but these probes are also falling. Yeah, a lot of probe kills. Wayne is parked outside the natural. Now there's going to be 2 stalkers to defend. Going for the main. 2 stalkers and 1 oracle. Now a second oracle's on the way. There's the Angie overcharge. This is going to be a difficult position to break. I don't know if he can. Wayne, sure, he kills the main base, but can he touch the natural? That I'm less sure about. Wayne is down to 8 workers. He's going to lose everything. Wayne, he's running out of steam. He has to... Oh no, the stasis! Stasis goes up. The stasis pops up. The boys are being pulled. Lings are going down. And Classic, is he holding on? Does he have enough? We'll lose 1 stalker. Down to 2 stalkers left. A lot of probes are falling. And Wayne, he overwhelms. Whew, he barely overwhelms. He takes down the Oracle, chases down the final stalkers. Again, there's 1 stalker remaining. And he does it. He does it, Bobby. He does cheese him out. GG gets called. And Wayne, he will take a lead. He will take game 1. Whew, GG. Oh my god. GG, well played, Wayne. He does catch Classic with his pants down. Again, in the end, the proxy Stargate did hurt Classic because his production was delayed. It was across the map. In a way, I mean, it was kind of weird. He was killing workers. He was killing drones. That is true. At the same time, though, he couldn't make any defensive void rays or defensive oracles. Like his home defense, his base defense was a little more awkward as a result. In the end, it was chaotic. In the end, Wayne lost most of his drones anyway, but did take it. Did take it in the end. GG, well played. That leads us into game number 2. As we are loading into Frostline. We're getting into Frostline and spawning in the top right-hand corner. Top right-hand corner here of Frostline, we have our South Korean Protoss player, the Red Protoss, down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back. We'll see if he can recover. It is Classic. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have, going pool first this time, going for a 12 pool. We do have the blue Zerg player leading the series 1-0. It is Wayne. Now, are we feeling 12 pool drone pool? That's what I'm curious about. As the first worker moves out across the map, I imagine for another hatch block, that would make the most sense. So it's setting up for the hatch block. This time earlier Lings. Now, as a reminder, this is not the same build. This is not the same build 2 games in a row. This is a much earlier spawning pool, so this is much more aggressive. It will look the same when it comes to the hatch block, and that's the goal here. The goal is to make it look like the same build when really it's anything but. We see a 2-gate opener out of Classic. Classic playing very safe. I say very safe. Safe, yes, but also an aggressive start. So 2-gate opener. Lings are amassing. And Wayne, does he go for the natural expansion? I guess he does. Huh. He hasn't scouted, he hasn't seen. There we go, yeah, there we go. The boys are being pulled, so 12 pool drone pool. Now, he does have this drone ahead of time to try to wall up, but again, Classic with the blind counter. Like, this blind 2-gate opener is ideal. But there's no Zealot. Oh, 2-gate opener, Cybercore into Nexus, no Zealot yet, no Probe Scout. He didn't see, he doesn't scout. There's nothing here, there's nothing here. There should be Zealots on the way. There should be Zealots, but there's nothing because there was no Probe Scout, and now Wayne is catching him off guard. Yeah, the wall is open, the pylon is exposed, and just like that, the game is over. The drones, they get in. That's it. The pylon gets surrounded. The pylon goes down. There's nothing to defend. No shot. No shot. That's going to be game, as there's only probes remaining. Lings, they bust in. And Wayne should not lose this fight. He should not lose this fight. GG gets called. Wayne, he will take down Classic 2-0 with the unscouted 12 pool drone pool. And Wayne will advance on to the grand finals. GG. Oh my god. GG, well played, Wayne. He cheeses Classic the hell out of this. Again, when it comes to the build of Classic, it was almost a blind counter. Like, what I mean by that is that Classic, he went for a 2-gate opener, which is solid. A 2-gate opener, which allows for extra zealots early on, which allows for better SimCity early on as well before the expansion. But Classic didn't probe scout. Classic, he did not probe scout. So without a probe scout, because he has no probe scout, there's nothing to trigger any zealot production, right? Like, he had no reason to make a zealot. He had no reason to have a probe in position. Classic had 0 scouting information, which is crazy because scouting is standard. Probe scouts are standard in PvZ. So in a way, Classic, he did quote unquote open safe, but then he didn't scout. So like, he just playing blind. He was in the dark, and Classic, he got caught. What happened, Pappy? With his pants down. The pants, they were completely down. Completely down, completely unprepared, and Wayne, he will advance on into the finals instead. GG, well played. I'm sure next time Classic plays, he will remember to wear a belt, strap himself in. Without it, Pappy, oh no. Wayne, he'll take advantage of you. And Wayne is our first finalist of the tournament, and we'll see who will join him in the finals, as up next we have another PvZ. We're going to be jumping into SHIN versus BratOK. Let's go. Let us go. Jumping into our next series. Suspenders, whatever you can get, Pappy. Tape yourself up. Here we go. Spawning in the top right hand corner of Amygdala, we do have our South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg. Currently teamless, the Red Zerg player from SC2. It is SHIN. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have the Brood War Protoss player representing Storm Gaming. It is MindleVK. Now, speaking of proxy hatcheries, hello SHIN. What's going on? We are moving out with the hatch block. As the drone does move out across the map. Back at home, there's no early spawning pool, so there's no crazy 12 pool, drone pool, anything like that. This is designed to avoid the initial scouting probe, to slip in and to get the hatchery down. Oh my god, cannon rush! Never mind. So he scouts the forge. He does scout the forge, going for his hatch block. And hopefully he clicked on the forge. I mean, back at home he should be fine. I mean, there's no expansion. What do we cannon rush? Oh, we're getting crazy, we're getting chaotic. I mean, we can cannon back at home to deal with this. True. We can throw down defensive cannons. Forge is down, there it is. Defensive cannon on the way. And Shinny does go for his pull, hatch, follow-up. He does pull a couple of boys. I believe he does see the pylon. God damn it. Base is under attack. And he does get us around on the cannon. Yeah, this cannon is not going to finish. The cannon will not finish. And SHIN will defend. And just like that, the cannon rush is denied. So there's no cannon rush, and likewise, there's no expansion. I do favor SHIN in this position. In general, going for a forge opener delays the gateway, delays the cyber core, delays everything in favor of cannons, which ideally was meant to get damage done across the map, but it shouldn't. Ooh. As another cannon gets thrown down. Boys are being pulled. There's a cancellation. Again, SHIN forcing defensive cannons. And the game will continue. Oh no, he goes for a second block. Does come in for a second block. Hatchery into the main. He's looking for a better location. Looking for a nice spot. There we go. Hatchery into the main base. Now, MindleVK, he knows that there is a drone in the main. He knows that there's a drone in the house, and he's got his Zealot to deal with it. The Zealot should be making his way into the main base as well. Mindle. Bappy, what's going on? We need that Zealot. We need to deal with this. Lings are amassing, queens are on the way, and again, he knows that there's a drone in here. He should be aware. Uh-oh. Roach Warren gets thrown down. SHIN, he can now make roaches. I mean, there we go. Zealot does now check. Dragoon's on the way. And how does this line up? Now, I believe by the time this hatchery finishes, the roach warren will be complete. So, SHIN, he can make roaches in the main base. He can make roaches within the main base of MinnoVK. So that is a big concern, bearing in mind that the Cyber Core is late and the Dragoon upgrade is late as well. The hatchery will complete. Lings are moving out. And show us those roaches. Oh, does cancel. Okay, does cancel. Doesn't commit to it. Roach Warren did complete, but actually 0 roach production. So SHIN, he had the option. He had the option to go for it if he wanted to, but he does see the Dragoon. He thinks better of it. He backs off. So despite making the Roach Warren, 0 roaches. 0 roaches for SHIN. Instead, he expands. He expands, he drones. We're settling into a longer game state. Meanwhile, Stargate follow-up out of MinnoVK. Curious here, this could be for a Corsair just to hunt down these overlords, or this could be your first scout also to hunt down the overlords and to also get some economic damage done as well. So we'll see which one he goes for, Corsair or scout. Meanwhile, very fast overlord speed on the way. Interesting. Overlord speed here from SHIN. If this was a regular SE2 game, I would assume that this was for a fast layer alongside it into like drop lord play, into an all-in. But here this might just be for scouting, as scouting is quite limited here for SHIN. It is an expensive scout, but a scout nonetheless. SHIN is droning, SHIN is saturating. We have a second star. Oh, that I was not expecting. A second Stargate. Going for the Citadel as well. Citadel into what? A Templar Archives. I mean, I know Corsair DT was a thing in Brood War. Do we go for like Scout Dark Templar? Do we? Maybe. Erlo's being hunted down. SHIN, he will go in for the Scouts. He will confirm. He will see both Stargates and he will see the Citadel as well. He sees everything in the main. The Citadel, it could just be for Zealot Legs. It could be for the Templar Archives. There we go, Zealot Legs on the way. Getting into the speed lots. Is speed lots the correct verbiage? Like I'm not comfortable calling them charge lots because it's not charge, right? Like they're not it's not quite the same upgrade. They're just speedy boys. Meanwhile, Lings, they force a cancel. They get on top of the Zealots. Zealots go down, Dragoon as well. Very nice surround here from SHIN. He shuts down the army. And he also confirms additional scouts. Does confirm additional scouts, and we're still massing up mass. Jesus, he's just committing. Committing into mass scouts. Likewise, back at home, SHIN going into Ling Hydra. Again, he did have the Roach Warren, but he's not making any roaches. Plus on melee's on the way, so Ling Hydra is going to be the composition of choice here for SHIN. Meanwhile, it's going to be Zealot Legs into Temple Archives, into Storm Archons. They're going to be available once again. Another surround, once again, another cancellation. He's at least hoping to, never mind. Does catch a Dragoon. Nice pickup. Takes down the Dragoon, pulls away. Overseer Scout does confirm the extra gateways. And the Temple Archives as well. Does take note. Back at home, Queens are in position, Spores are in position. Storm is on the way for Mindle. And again, the tech here is solid for MinnoVK, but the problem here is the economy. Like, the base has been delayed and denied for so long. He needs a third. Without it, Mindle, he is falling behind. Doesn't need that third base. Love seeing scouts. For me, like, it's the nostalgia is real when it comes to the anti-air attack. For like in general, like a lot of the Brutal units, a lot of their sound effects, like it sparks joy. I played so much Brood War as a kid. Never competitively. I didn't have the internet for it. But did play it a lot. As a child. Feels early 2000s, man. SHIN does start to step in. Catches out 2 of those scouts. Not bad. Let's catch him out. Likewise, BratOK just massing up High Templar back at home, building up their storms. Storm is done. And again, like the composition here is solid for BratOK, but because of the late expansion, because of the really shaky start as well, the economy isn't where it needs to be. Without the economy, the size of the army here is lacking, and SHIN is getting ready to overwhelm. SHIN, he's just taking up to 83 drones already, getting up to 4 bases, soon to be a 5th expansion for Larva, taking up into Hive Tech, into Hydro Lurker Viper. And SHIN is getting into the ideal. And Mindle is 1 step behind. 1 step behind here. Now with some solid storms, Mindle, he can survive this. He can take this fight. First storm does zone. Zoning storms. Oh. Likewise, SHIN collapsing, and he has a greater concave. Collapsing the army. Oh, 2 storms once again, they get spent. They zone. BratOK being a little bit wasteful here, baited into storms. The fungal comes in, massive connection. Yeah, massive fungal, chain fungal as well. Nice storm on some of the hydras. Oh my god. Storms, they pop up, they shut down the hydras. And with that, BratOK, he barely does defend. Again, the power of the storms. Mindle holds. He does hold, chasing down the infestors. Takes down both of them. But alas, SHIN still has the better economy. He's remaxing, rebuilding, getting ready for the next wave. And this next wave, this time, is going to feature Lunkers. The Lunkers are on the way. So here come those Lurker upgrades. SHIN, he's getting ready here for that next step. Meanwhile, more High Templar building up. Unfortunately, there's still no Sky Toss. So yes, we have some Stargates, that is true, but there it is. Fleet Beacon is now on the way. I will say this is a late Fleet Beacon for BratOK, but part of that is also because of the late 4th, because of the late 3rd. I mean, it's, again, everything has been delayed here. Everything is late. But he's almost there. He needs a little bit more time to stabilize it into Sky Toss. Until then, there's an opening. Until then, BratOK is vulnerable. We'll see if he can hold on to the 4th, as the first 5 Lurkers are morphing in. Lunkers are morphing in. SHIN, he does start step forward. Oh, jeez, how many High Templar? 8? Oh my god. 8 High Templar for Mindle. First storm pops off. God, I love that effect. It just hits different. Ooh, the High Templar, they get checked up. Yeah, that's what, 2, 3 High Templar going down. Brutal pickoffs. Oh, sorry, that was 4 High Templar falling. And the base is going to crumble. Yeah, there's no saving this. Pushing into the Lurkers. Storms, they do catch out the Lurkers. Not bad. Hydras being forced back. And BratOK, he barely doesn't have enough. Barely not. And SHIN, he's done it. He's broken the army. He's broken the expansion. 4th base goes down. Now the storm zones where reinforcements, they have arrived. And SHIN, he can just keep pushing. He can just keep going and overwhelm. For now, he rotates over. Does rotate. So you're just trying to catch him BratOK out of position. Lurkers, they burrow in. Yeah, and you can see the army just dragged within Lurker range. The storms have been good, but there's just not enough. There's just not enough storms here. Hydras, they break through that initial defensive line. Delts go down. And SHIN, he has done it. He has done it. He has broken his opponents. Remember, it all started with the cannon rush. It began with the cannon rush, and it ends here 12 minutes later with mass Hydra Lurker. As it was a very awkward start to the game for both players. Just making their way through. They take down the Archons. And the natural has been broken. From here, there's barely anything left. GG gets called, and SHIN, he will take a lead in the series. He will take game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Shin, he will take a lead. Again, it was a very shaky back and forth early game, but just to re-emphasize once again, MindoVK, he was playing from behind. He was playing from behind. It was just a really awkward start. Late tech, late expansion, delayed third base, as we saw Shin able to force a cancel and delay him even further. So because that Mindo, he was playing catch-up for the most of that game. He was playing catch-up, and he had some good moments. He had some good fights, but the economy is what was hurting him. Whether it was the late third base, more importantly, the non-existent fourth base, right? He never got a fourth base up and running, so he could never really keep up supply-wise with Shin. GG. GG, well played. With that, Shin will take a lead in the series. Now we're jumping to game number 2. Let's go. Let us go. The StarCraft version is so radical. True. It's tubular. Oh no. So getting into our next game and spawning in the top right hand corner of first line, we have our red Zerg player, our Brood War Zerg, leading the series 1-0. It is Shin. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have the blue Protoss player, the SE2 Protoss representing Sidestorm Gaming. It is MindoVK. Just catching with the chat. Since when can you play Brood War versions? When was the mod made? That's a good question. I believe it was last year. But I will say that the mod was like popularized, I want to say like halfway through 2024, like around like June-ish, like June, July, maybe a little bit earlier, like April, June, July-ish of last year. Sorry, May, June, July-ish of last year. Is when the mod did kind of like come out and was being supported and kind of hits the Korean scene, and since then has kind of branched out in the international scene as well. So it hasn't been that long. Like the mod hasn't been out for too long. I want to say like just under a year. I want to say just under a year at this point. But we have been hosting and casting events on this channel of StarCraft Evolution, intermixed with SE2 tournaments, of course, for almost a year at this point. So if you want to tune in to some more content, it's all on YouTube. So check out our YouTube channel. It's all, I believe, like playlisted there with previous events. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. It is, of course, if you want to help support, I should say, the evolution of StarCraft Evolution and support the developers and those working on assets and balancing and maps as well, exclamation mark SC Evo in the chat, I believe. Yep, there it is. There is a Patreon, Team Caprulu, they're the team that is working on it, again, creating modern assets. You can see here, like for the gas geyser, this is not an SE2 gas geyser. It is a new kind of like a new asset here that was added. It is a Brood War gas geyser, the hatchery, the spawning pool as well, also a Brood War spawning pool. It's all custom assets. So shout out to the art team, of course, shout out to the balance team as well. Like they have their own team that do work on the Brood War side of things. They actively patch and work on the game. And there's a Patreon if you do wish to support them. So now we are settling in. It is going to be a Twilight Council opener out of MindoVK. Let's go. So Twilight Council opener. But right, if I didn't make it clear, this is a mod, right? This is a custom mod, not like the official game. So Twilight Council opener, taking the vision here of Shin. Shin, he has not yet confirmed. Does go for a safe start though. Going to be morphing in that creep colony into a sunken colony, setting up defensively, fully walling off. And rushing into a fast lair. Oh my god, very fast lair here by Shin. Now with this fast lair, this does scream Muta. This does scream 2-base Muta. Meanwhile, Glaive Adepts are on the way from MindoVK. I'm curious how this all does unfold. Now on the one hand, Shin, he's fully walled in on 2 bases, so there's no way for the Adepts to get in. But Mutas aren't the best unit to deal with these Adepts. Without laying Hydra, I am concerned for Shin, as Shin has yet to scout. Oh, as the Adept moves out, Lings, they move in. Yeah, Lings they do slip past. They get into the main. Even for example, these Zerglings, they're custom models. Like these are not SE2 Zerglings, as you can see. They're very different, visually I mean. They do slip into the main base, and they do get vision. They confirm Twilight Council. He knows. He's now fully aware. A Spire has been thrown down. As you mentioned, the fast lair did scream 2-base Muta, and now he knows that he's up against Glaive Adepts. But what is his answer? Again, defensive mute is not going to be ideal. Ninja base. Let's go. Going for a ninja expansion. Ooh, did let that gas geyser finish, unfortunately. Link speed is on the way. That will help at least somewhat. Remember, Shin, he skipped link speed to afford the faster lair. And Adepts moving out. Adepts moving out across the map. And I don't think that one colony is going to be enough, I'll be honest. There we go. We have more colonies on the way. There's going to be 3 in total, but these colonies are late. But it might be enough. There's not that many Adepts. It's going to be 6. 6 Adepts into Blink. There's no Robo alongside this. My apologies. So when it comes to Glaive Adepts, this is only... It is 4 gate Glaives, but no Robo. No Robo, no War Prism. First colony is going to go down. But the other 2 are finishing. Oh, they're barely finishing up. Adepts are trying to break their way in. And they barely... Oh, they barely will kind of be... oh, never mind. The re-wall. Re-wall's just in time. Adepts, they do not get into the natural. Adepts, what do they see? They don't see much at all here, but the full wall does scream Muta play. It has to be Mutas. Blink is going to be the answer. Going for a massive gateway explosion, still on 2 bases. Going Mass Blink Stalker. And here come the Mutas. We released 1.0 in May of last year. There you go, May of last year. There you go. Thank you for letting us know. Shout to Cat. Shout to Cat. Cat. Thank you so much. So almost a year of StarCraft Evolution. Meanwhile, Adepts, they do find the ninja base. Mutas, they do bust into the main. They head towards the natural. Probe's going to be going down. The Stalker count's still not quite high enough, but the Warpin does complete. And Shin, he has to pull out. He has to get out of here. So far, getting 20 probe kills. Insane damage. Did I say 20? 22. 22 workers go down. Mutas, they can now deal with the Adepts. And Shin, he will re-expand behind this going Mass Ling Muta. And also switching into Hydras. Hydra has been thrown down. Mutas, they catch out a couple of those Adepts. We started our beta around 2 years ago, and 1.0 released May last year. Oh, thank you, thank you. Gracias, Angel. Gracias. As soon as they keep poking in between the bases, likewise, Stalkers, they get across. But we're going for the base trade. Yeah, we are committing here to the base trade, and can we defend back at home again? Link production still underway. No Hydras yet. Hatchery goes down. Meanwhile, Shiobari does does defend back at home. But Minivike, he has almost barely any workers, down to 18 probes, barely an economy. 18 workers left. Minivike, he has to bust in. Upper the Lings, they get a full surround. Oh my god, massive catch. Stalkers get surrounded. Adepts, they bust into the main. They get a couple of drone kills, but Shin, he was ready for this. He pulls away. He pulls away the workers. He does preserve whatever he can. And Shin holds. Shin holds. He shuts down the all-in. There's nothing left. GG gets called, and Shin will take the series at 2-0. He will survive the aggression and advance on to the grand finals. GG. Whew. Oh my god. GG, well played. Shin, he does claim the series, and we have our top 2 players here. Again, Minivike had a very chaotic match is what I will say. Remember, game 1 began with a cannon rush. Game 2 began with 4 gate glaives without a robo. It was just some chaotic games, back and forths. Shin, he did get away with the 2 base Muta. I was a little bit concerned he wouldn't. I was concerned that the wall was going to be broken and Adepts would bust in. But alas, Shin, he does get away with it. Does get away with the Mutas. GG. GG, well played. And now we do have our top 2. We have our finalists. Switching our scenes over here, we can catch up on the bracket itself and figure out where we are. From the top, Wayne took down Classic 2-0. Shin took down Minivike 2-0. And now we have our top 2 finalists here. It's going to be Wayne versus Shin in a ZVZ. Now, this is not a standard ZVZ. I did speak on this earlier when we covered Classic versus Rebellion, but mirror matchups are really mirror matchups only in name. I do feel like calling them that is a little bit of a disservice. Broodor Zerg versus SE2 Zerg is only similar in name. Like, it is very, very different when it comes to its dynamic. I love casting mirror matchups in StarCraft Evolution because it's just an entirely different matchup, entirely different dynamic between Brood War and SE2. And yeah, Wayne doing very well for himself here tonight, taking down some big names already. But how does he compare to SHIN? Coming into this, SHIN is going to be the heavy favorite, but if you remember, Classic was also the favorite player against Wayne as well, and that did not stop Wayne. That did not stop him from bringing him down and from cheesing him out, more importantly. We had some crazy games earlier. It's insane. But yeah, it's really cool to hear. I didn't know that the beta was 2 years ago of all things. That is crazy. But I would say, like, once it's been released, it's been quite successful. Of course, I should also emphasize, even though 1.0 came out of May of last year, we didn't start casting it here on the CranKy Ducklings until, well, like October, I want to say. Maybe like September, October-ish, whenever the StarCraft Evolution League began, which was quite a bit later, I should say, quite a bit later. But yeah, a lot of work, a lot of effort has been put into the mod itself. And now we're getting into our grand finals. My friend told me high-level play was cool. I never played, so I have no idea what's going on. Fair enough, fair enough. I mean, I should, especially if your friend was telling you about StarCraft, this is not regular StarCraft. This is StarCraft Evolution, so it's a little bit different, But regardless, I hope you're enjoying it, and I'll do my best to explain what's happening and to emphasize what's going on. I'll do my best, Regardless, to Bienvenidos, welcome, as we are jumping into the grand finals, and spawning in the top right-hand corner of a Holy World, we have our blue Zerg player, we have our South Korean, we have our SE2 Zerg, it is Wayne. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent, we have the Brood War Zerg player from South Korea, the favorite player here. Can he go all the way? It is SHIN. Ooh, so here we go. We have Wayne opening up with a 13-12. 13-12 out of Wayne. Hyper aggression out of our blue Zerg player. Going for an early gas. What does an early gas mean? That means early link speed. So early link speed into potentially an early Baneling nest as well. So a very aggressive build here out of Wayne. SHIN, on the flip side, is going hatch first. So SHIN, he delays his spawning pool, he delays his gas geyser in favor of a faster expansion. So we have a more economic build here by SHIN. Wayne being more aggressive. So aggression up against more greed here. We have a different dynamic. On top of that, welcome to Holy World. Holy World, of course, is a 4-player spawn map. It is random where you load in. You can load in bottom left, bottom right, top left, or top right as well. So you can see both players are looking for each other. Both players are searching, overlords are moving in. SHIN, he will check top left, so will Wayne. They won't find each other yet. But remember, it's Wayne who's being aggressive. There we go. Link speed is already on the way. So rushing into link speed, he does pull out of gas, so it's not a Bane bust. It's not a Bane bust, but it is rushing into just pure lings. He's going to be flooding across the map, and Wayne, the overlords, they spot each other. Now, seeing each other does confirm their locations. Like, this overlord wouldn't be here if they were spawning in the other corner of the map. So more or less, SHIN and Wayne, they know where each other are. And we'll see if SHIN can hold, because SHIN, he still doesn't even have his spawning pool. It's still about to finish, which means no lings. No defense so far here for SHIN. As lings are amassing, Wayne about to pull the trigger. He does get an expansion behind this, but you can see still just pure ling production out of Wayne. And right now, Wayne, he's just waiting for his upgrade. He's waiting for link speed. Once link speed finishes, then it's go time. So waiting for link speed. Meanwhile, SHIN back at home, just happily droning. SHIN still has no idea. He has no idea what's going on. The overlord is still coming in. It's so slow. Get in there. It's so slow. Out of position. And Wayne, he does pull the trigger, just flooding across the map. And SHIN, he's about to run into those lings. He does not have speed. And he gets surrounded. Oh, we just ignore it. We just ignore the lings. Wayne, he just goes for the kill. Goes for the natural. SHIN, he fully walls off. A good reaction. Good reaction so far. He does fully wall off. Desperately re-walling behind this. But the Evo chamber goes down. Lings, they flood in. And Wayne, he will overwhelm. The Spine Caller does finish up just in time. A really close defense. Spinecrawler tanking a lot of shots. Does go down. Things that keep flooding in, and Wayne, he overwhelms. Yeah, he still overwhelms. He busts down that front door. Gets into the natural. Link's trying to get in position. SHIN, he's trying to hold on here, but again, it's just a numbers game at this point. Just a numbers game. He cannot keep up. Not anymore. As Wayne does overwhelm, and it was just a little bit of RNG. It was just really unfortunate for SHIN. Remember, SHIN, he was searching for his opponent, trying to figure out what was going on. It was a late scout from SHIN. We rolled the dice, we flipped the coin. It was risky, but it pays off. It pays off here as Wayne. GG gets called, and Wayne will take game number 1. Whew, GG. A very intense game 1. Again, Wayne just being really risky and just going for a hyper aggression, rushing into Link speed, rushing into the gas geyser. I say it was risky just because they didn't know where they were spawning, right? Like, he didn't know where his opponent was. SHIN didn't know where Wayne was either, just because of the map itself. So it was very risky. I mean, they could have spawned in anywhere, and in the end, as you saw, it took a little bit too long for SHIN to figure out what was happening, as it was a delayed scout from SHIN. And now we're getting into game number 2. Going to be loading into Vermeer. Let's go. Seems similar to AoE 2. Might be able to pick it up quick. Yeah, sure. I mean, RTSs, they are similar in some sense to each other when it comes to, like, you know, building up an economy and controlling an army. So there are definitely some similarities between RTSs. I would say they're a little bit different in the sense that StarCraft is a faster game than AoE. Age of Empires has a bit of a slower pace to it. So there is that tempo difference for the most part, but overall, like, you know, I'm sure it's something that you can enjoy. Vice versa as well. As here we go, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Vermeer, we do have our red Zerg player. Down in the series, we have our South Korean Zerg rocking SE2. It is SHIN. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the Brood War Zerg player leading the series 1-0. We'll see if we can extend that lead here and just keep that momentum going. It is Wayne. Let's go. Settling in. This time, Wayne, hatch first. Okay, we're calming things down after an intense game 1. Coming into game number 2, it's going to be hatch first out of Wayne. Likewise, hatch first out of SHIN as well. This time, there's no crazy fast gas. There's no crazy fast spawning pool. This time, standard opener, standard game. We're calming things down. Like, game 1 was intense and it was crazy. Game 2, we can chill. We can chill out here. Now, once again, this is a 4-player spawn map, so we do have SHIN scouting the top left-hand corner of the map. Likewise, Wayne is scouting bottom right. They are looking for each other. As a heads up, you can spawn in any of the corners of the map. You can have closer spawns or spawns that are further away. Is random. Meanwhile, Wayne, he does go for his macro hatchery here at the natural. So hatch, gas pool, hatch opener out of Wayne. So far, so good. Just catching up in the chat. For sure, it was quite the journey once Western Castles picked up EVO, and we love to see all the events that have popped up since. Yeah, for sure, it's been a lot of fun, I will say. Been a lot of fun. It's been a great addition to at least us here on the CranKy Ducklings. We never branched out into the other RTSs, right? Like, we never branched out into Battle Aces or into Gates of Pyre or into Stormgate, just because, like, we were a little bit too busy with StarCraft and we didn't actually have the time. Like, we were actually invited, like, into the betas or into the alphas to try out the games ahead of time. What's the other one? Zero Space. That's the other one, Zero Space. We were invited, but I never really had the time to actually get into them, just because often they'd be like beta weekends or like alpha weekends, and we'd just be busy casting StarCraft. But StarCraft Evolution is a lot more accessible, especially if you're already ingrained in SE2. So it's definitely something that we've been able to enjoy and embrace a lot more so than branching out into like another RTS to try them out. It's been a lot of fun. Been a lot of fun. I will say the same about Warcraft 3 Evolution. True. That's also because, again, it's also in StarCraft 2, like another RTS or another game mode that we've been able to embrace and has been a lot of fun as well. Maybe a little bit less balanced and maybe a little bit more rough around the edges, but fun nonetheless. Here we go. As we do have our, I should have pointed out, our fast lair. Fast lair here, Shin, he does scout the lair first out of Wayne. Wayne, he, with said lair, going into 2-base Muta. Spire has been thrown down at the natural. Now Shin, he has a piece of the puzzle. He knows how fast the lair was.
Here comes a new challenger.
God damn it, Shin. So Shin, he knows something is wrong, something is weird. Overlord goes in, and Shin, he will confirm the Spire. So Shin is aware of the tech of choice. Back at home, Shin, he does just drone up. Hatch gas pool, droning, saturating, building up his queens, getting a 3rd expansion. Shin is being more economic. Meanwhile, Wayne is being cheeky by rushing into mutas. Now Shin is fully aware. From here, Shin, he can respond by going into his own lair, by going into his own queen production, into his own Hydra tech, for example. I feel like it's a little bit too late to try to punish this with an all-in. To have a safety roach warren from Shin. But again, he should just be droning and securing himself back at home. Meanwhile, Wayne is walling up. Again, Wayne, he's vulnerable to a ground attack. Shin is massing up lings. He's massing up those lings. Overlord does fall. Nice pickup. Wayne moves out. Now, when it comes to our dynamic here, Shin, he does have the greater economy. He's up an expansion. He's up a base. And he does miss the lings. Shin, he moves out. Queens are exposed. The first queen is going to get surrounded. Very nice pickoff here by Wayne. Very nice pickoff. Takes down the queen, pulls away. Meanwhile, Shin is more concerned about denying the 3rd. And it looks like he will be able to. It's going to be close. Oh, does deny. Does force a cancel. Nicely done. Wayne does move out. And back at home, Shin is going to be the defender. Shin, he's just walling up. We have Spore Crawlers being thrown down. Queens are amassing as well. And we'll see if these mutas can find a way in. As Wayne has gained map control. He's looking for a way in. Spores are barely not done in time. The first spore is denied. Nice pickup. Getting another spore. Forcing another cancel. Shin, he's keeping up. And again, from here, Wayne, he's free to expand. He can now freely expand, drone up, focus on his economy. The role of these mutas is to just keep Shin contained. And potentially get some economic damage. As Shin, he tries to break out. Is being denied. So far being denied at every turn. Shin from here is taking up into an infestation bit. This should be for the hive. This should be for vipers. So he's building up towards a greater army. I'm a little bit surprised we don't see a Hydra Den yet. So far it's just going to be Queen, Roach, Viper instead. Ling's looking for a way in. Mutas, they get into the main. They do scout the infestation pit. They don't quite get the snipe though. They're going for it. Lings, they bust into the main base. Shin, he undermade Lings. They do get into the main. Likewise, trying to catch a couple of queens. Drone's going down. Good damage so far here by Wayne. And can he get the pits? Oh, it's getting close. And it looks like he will be able to. Oh, clutch transfuse. Does save the infestation bit, just barely. Ay, ay, ay. Barely does save it. Shin holds. Whew, okay, Shin, he does hold on. Meanwhile, as you can see, Wayne, the muta count isn't getting any bigger. He's not making any more mutas. He did invest quite heavily early on, but Wayne, he's transitioning out of muta into Lunker instead. Hydra Den into Lurker tech. The drone count is still lackluster, is what I will say for Wayne. Still just on a very low drone count. He has the 3rd base, but barely any saturation. So this is slowing Wayne down. Shin, he confirms this with this Link Scout. He does get eyes on the Hydras. He knows that there's going to be a switch, a transition. Likewise, Shin is doing the same. So both players taking into Hydras, both players taking into Lurkers. But Wayne is going to get there first. As the first Lurkers are morphing in. Here are Lurkers that have arrived. Yo, they have like Hydra faces. Let's go. But the lurkers, they have morphed in. Once again, more lurkers in production. Wayne still staying on a very low drone count, by the way. Very committed, very aggressive by Wayne. He is moving out. Mutas are still distracting. Up. Nice fungal. Catching out the mutas. Mutas are getting caught, but can Shin defend against the lurkers, though? Does he have enough? He has a couple of roaches, a couple of hydras. He has no lurkers of his own. Does have detection. Nice spread. Nice around. Ooh, yeah, and Wayne here overextends. Leads out a couple of lurkers. Lings, they do hit the third base, going for the surround. He wants the expansion. And it looks like he barely might get it. The transfuses are clutch, but the base will still go down. Just barely. Whew. And third base does full. Shin, he's now stuck on 2 bases. Lurker still poking in. And Wayne just pulling Shin apart. Remember, Shin, he had the role of the defender. He was trying to turtle up as best he could. And he was defending against the mutas, but he does lose the third base. Massive loss. And Wayne, finally he's droning. Wayne, he's been delaying his worker production for quite some time, but finally he's droning up, getting a 4th base as well. Getting into a proper economy. He's getting there. Now, Shin, he still has a massive army, but it's very immobile. Like, he's still building up Roach Hydra. The Lurker Den, I believe, is now done, but he has no Lurkers yet. Right now, Shin doesn't really have much pushing power. I say that, he might just commit. Takes down the Overlord. Now, sniping this Overlord means that Wayne, he doesn't see the entire army moving out. He's lacking vision. Now spots it. Now he knows. Wayne, he pulls away. And it's all or nothing for Shin. As he's going to be committing into mass Lurker, though. Like, Lurkers, they're siege units, they're ideal defensively. Lings, they move out for another counterattack. Shin, he does have his queens back at him to defend. Shin, he's looking for a way in. But pushing into Lurkers is not going to be easy. That's what I meant when I said he has no pushing power. Like, I don't see him breaking this location. But he does find the 4th expansion. True. Does get the 4th base. Roaches, they try to find their way into the natural, but last they are deflected. Roaches are deflected. 4th base does at least go down. I mean, well, these roaches are trapped. They can't quite make it out, not too easily. Shin, he retakes his 3rd. And is now able to take up into his own Viper tech. Let's go. Hive is done. Vipers are on the way. Roach is getting caught out. Oof. Leading out those roaches. Wayne, he's regained map control. Okay, he's got a very high lurker count. He's up to 22 lurkers. Ay, ay, ay. Denies the 4th expansion. Lurker is getting in position in between the bases. Shin, he has to pull away. Has to pull back. Lurker's moving in from both sides. Almost getting within range of the base. These lurkers are exposed. Massive fungal goes off, and the lurkers are going to go down. Ay, ay, ay. Wayne here overextends. Likewise, he dives in. Lings into the main base. Lurkers in between the bases. But I feel like he's overextending here. As every lurker is going to go down. Wayne just being overly aggressive. You're going to lose everything. Lurkers are falling. Lings as well. Wayne, he throws away his army. He has a couple of Lings left over, but again, he will lose everything. And I'm afraid to look, but that was 21 lurkers. That was 21 lurkers going down alongside 51 Lings. He does do some economic damage. Sure, he gets 18 drone kills, but that was not worth it. That was not worth it here for Wayne. As he plummets in supply. Back at home, Wayne, he does rebuild. He's trying to mass up more lurkers, but this is the kind of situation where the soup doesn't lie. It's not lying, Bobby. It's not lying. Wayne is triple expanding, getting a 4th base, 5th base, 6th base. Frantically just mass expanding. But now Shin can push. Now he has his Vipers. The Vipers, they have arrived. And with said Vipers, he can break these positions. For those that are curious, Vipers, they have a lot of options here. They're spellcasters, they can abduct, so they can yoink the lurkers out of the ground, they can pull them in. They can also blinding cloud as well, which is to like shroud the lurkers and make it so they can't attack. Vipers are going to be ideal here. And now suddenly I don't see Wayne holding against this. He's going to try. Does move in. He has to respect the Vipers. He has to pull away. Yeah, mass blinding clouds. And lurkers, they don't do much here. Yeah, they're caught in the blinding clouds. The Roach Ravager, the Roach Hydra does break through. Pushing through the main army. Up, going for the deductions. And Shin, he does it. He breaks the defensive line here. There's what, 3-4 lurkers left. It looks like maybe Wayne barely holds on. It's still quite close. Still very close. Forcing Shin back. But behind this, Shin is just rallying across the map, catching out the final lurkers. There's 3 lurkers left. And they're going to be going down. Down to 1 lurker, down to 0. And now it's just Hydra. Now just Hydra remaining here for Wayne. And I'm most impressed by the fact that Shin, he never made any lurkers himself. Like, he just never teched up. I mean, he had the tech, don't get me wrong. He never invested. Never got into them. Just broke through with the Vipers anyway. Takes down another expansion. Wayne going for a desperation counterattack. And I mean, he's catching a couple of reinforcements here and there. He can maybe pick off a queen. But for the most part, Shinny's secure. Secure, he's pushing across the map, once again catching out more lurkers. GG gets called as Wayne cannot hold on, and Shinny fights back, tying up the series 1-1. Whew, GG. GG, well played. Does tie things up again. Once again, a very intense game. We had initially Wayne going into 2-base Muta, which was quite successful. Like, again, I want to emphasize that Wayne was in a pretty good position. He was successfully getting a 3rd base, getting a 4th base, containing Shin on 3 bases with his Mutas. Where everything went south, though, if you remember, was when Wayne pushed out with his lurkers. When he went for 2 attacks, he went for the lurkers in between the bases, he went for a lurker run by at the 3rd base, and at the same time went for a Ling run by into the main. And Wayne, he threw away his entire army. He lost everything in that assault. He didn't have to try to break through, but he tried to anyway, and he lost everything in the process. From that moment, Shin, he gained momentum. He gained momentum, he gained a supply lead, economic lead as well, and from there, Shin did snowball out of control. GG. GG, well played. With that, we have a series, we have a back and forth, and we're now loading into Frostline. Let's go. And we'll see who takes the lead in the series. As a reminder, this is a best of 5, and we are tied up 1-1. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Frostline, we have the blue Zerg player. We have the South Korean Zerg, repping the Brood War race. It is Shin. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the red Zerg player himself, the SC2 Zerg. It is Wayne. We go. Are setting up. And welcome one all to Frostline. Frostline is a very different map in the map pool. Unlike the previous maps so far, this is a 2-player spawn map. So unlike the previous maps, we know where each other are. There's no like guessing, there's no scouting to find our opponent's locations. Just cross spawn. Top right and bottom left. So only 2 possible locations. Wayne, he does move out with his initial Overlord Scout, likewise so does Shin. So far, hatch, gas pool. Standard openers all around. No early gases, no early spawning pools. Wayne does go for a delayed gas. Okay, interesting. Gases are delayed for Wayne. So suddenly, with a hatch pool opener and with late gases, it looks like Wayne may play 2-base Roach. Basically, without any link speed, without any gases here, link speed is non-existent. Likewise, Baneling's going to be delayed as well. Now gases are being taken, but this feels like Wayne may just play on 2 bases and stay on 2 bases a little bit longer. So a bit of a deviation here from our red Zerg player. Meanwhile, Shin across the map, standard opener. His gases are on time. Goes for his macro hatchery, and Shin will have faster link speed as a result. Again, Wayne, he has gas income. Sorry, Shin has gas income. Wayne's gas income is delayed. So that is the first thing to kind of bear in mind. As Overlords are poking in. Both players confirming that it was a hatch first. As the Overlords, they will see the progression of the creep, and now they know. So they should know that they're safe. Ooh, meanwhile, Shin, he skips link speed. Yeah, he skips link speed, is going for a very fast lair instead. And it looks like Shin, he's rushing into mutas. So 2-base muta out of Shin. Wayne on the flip side. Remember, he did have late gases, so we're expecting Wayne to wall up on 2 bases. And he might go 2-base muta as well. As the first Overlord is hunted down. Nice pickoff. Yep, 2-base lair. 2-base lair out of Wayne. It looks like, blindly by the way, no one scouts each other, but it looks like both players are going into muta play. Let's go. Oh, scout is denied. Ling goes down. And the lair is soon to finish. Gases are being taken. Show us that tech, show us that spire, show us those mutas. That's Wayne, yep, he's walling up. Once again, because of the late gases, there's no link speed from either player. Lair is done, and there's the spire. So we have the spire from Shin, so he's going 2-base muta, and Wayne should be doing the same. I say should be. Technically, Wayne... Oh, I was going to say he can go into Roach speed into +1 range, and he might go for that, actually. Wayne has options. Shin doesn't. Shin, I mean, he's already locked into mutas, but Wayne does have options. He can go into a spire as well, or he can go into a 2-base Roach all in. What's it going to be? Gases are being taken. Lair is done. Roach Warren is complete. Show us Roach speed. Doesn't have the gas for it yet. But yeah, no spire. If he wanted to spire, he would cancel range. He would cancel the upgrade, so this is going to be an interesting dynamic. There it is. Roach speed is on the way. So Wayne, he's rushing to Roach tech, rushing into Roach upgrades, which means we could see Wayne try to break Shin before mutas hit the field, but this lair was just so fast. It was unscattered as well. So getting into this position, I do favor Shin. I do feel like these mutas have a lot of potential to gain map control and to get economic damage, and to potentially even deny this 3rd base. These Roaches from Wayne, it's going to be difficult to really have them pay for themselves. They're ground-based units, and sure, he can commit to an all-in, but it's going to be difficult. Yeah, Wayne, he scouts. He sees the spire. He knows. Does spot the spire. Hydrogen as a reaction, so Wayne, he's going into Hydra tech from here, and Wayne has to be the defender. And for the time being, these early upgrades, this early tech, like Roach speed and +1 range, they haven't paid for themselves. They're just not really coming into play, which is why Wayne is counterattacking. He has to do something with this army. So Wayne, he moves out. He runs into the mutas, somewhat. Yeah, he spots them. Yeah, he does spot the Roaches. Roaches are being hunted down. So again, this investment into Roaches just wasn't really worth it for Wayne. But at least they're buying time, right? Like, they're distracting the mutas, they're keeping them busy, and Wayne is taking up into his Hydras. So Hydras are amassing. Likewise, Shin also switching from muta into Lurker tech as well. And yeah, this is just a really interesting setup here from Shin. So if you remember the previous game, Wayne was in Shin's shoes, where Wayne, he also opened up muta. But if you remember, Wayne, he committed into a greater muta setup. He made even more mutas, and he had a much later 3rd expansion. Here, Shin, he actually makes only a handful of mutas, only 6 mutas. That is only for map control, only for harassment, and behind this, much faster Lurker tech. So he's switching to Lurkers much faster. As they poke in, they spot the Hydras here of Wayne. Pull away. Catching another Roach. Wayne is not droning. Wayne, he's not droning up, he's moving out. Wayne is committing with Roach Hydra. Wayne, he wants to end the game, but he's about to run into Lurker tech. As Lurkers are about to morph in back at home. Shin, he goes for the third base. Can he get it? It's going to be close. Looks like he won't. Yeah, he will not get the expansion. Barely does survive. Clutch save here from Wayne. And again, Wayne, he hasn't been droning. He's not droning at all. He's going for a 2-base all-in. It's all or nothing for Wayne. Back at home, Lurkers are arriving just in time. Yeah, very clutch. Now Lurkers are scattered. We have Overlord Speed on the way. Getting to Overlord Speed. The music come back. He wants it. Doesn't get it though. Picks off a couple of Hydras. Yeah, 3, 4 Hydras going down, getting up to 5. Gets all the Hydras going for the expansion. The hatchery, it's going to go down. Yeah, massive pick off the base falls. That will impact the production of Wayne. Remember, Wayne, he was already all in. It's all or nothing for the Red Zerg. He moves out with everything he has. And back at home, there are Lurkers waiting for him. But how many Lurkers? So far, only... Oh, I say only 14. Jesus. 14 Lurkers. That's crazy. Mutas are catching reinforcements. Lurkers, they spread out in between the bases. Again, 16 Lurkers for Shin. That is crazy. He's very well set up, and he just can't push into this. How do you push into all these Lurkers? Last game, Shin, if you remember, he had Vipers, but it's too early for Vipers. Yeah, Vipers are a non-factor. Army gets shut down, Overseer falls to the Scourge. And Shin holds. Yeah, Shin, he holds. And there's no longevity in this army here for Wayne. Wayne, he has no third base, he has no economy. Wayne is all in, and the all-in fails. The all-in, it does fail. Shin's still catching more reinforcements. It's all or nothing for Wayne, but again, there's just so many Lurkers. He can't push in. He can try. He can't try. Takes down the first Lurker. First Lurker goes down. The others are in position. Oh, God. And he can't move in. He can't push up this ramp. He's trying to force his way through. I mean, these Lurkers are a little bit exposed. True. 2 Lurkers go down. Yeah, Shinny repositions. He's ready here now with, what, 8 Lurkers at the third. Hydras, they do take down the 4th base, but this base doesn't really matter. It's not as impactful here. Base does go down. Once again, Shinny counterattacks. Once again, going for the 3rd expansion. Wayne, he's racing back home. And the longer this goes on, the better it should be for Shin. As Shin, he's just freely mining on 3 bases, building up more Lurkers, building up more Scourge, getting a 4th expansion towards the top side instead. And Wayne is droning. It's a really rough time to drone, but he is trying to saturate his bases. Wayne, he's trying to build up into a longer game, but he is behind. So he has some catching up to do. Now, he can get a more efficient army. Wayne, he's working towards an infestation pit. This is the beginning here to start taking into Hive, to start taking into Vipers. He can get there eventually, but he's still a ways off. Really, I worry for the moment that Shin stops defending. Like, right now, he's keeping all of his Lurkers at home. He's turtling up, but eventually he will move out. And eventually, that move out, I don't know if it can really be stopped. But for now, Shin, he's just being more defensive. He's just calming down, securing his bases. Just getting his 4th expansion. Likewise, Hive is on the way for Wayne. Again, the Hive is going to be for Viper Tech. We have a couple of Infestors on the way as well. And this army for Wayne is going to have potential, 100%. But this is what I was worried about. SHIN, he's had enough defending. He unburrows, he sends everything across the map. And he's not giving Wayne time to recover. Not giving him time to build up. Here we go, Lurkers, they burrow in, they dive on the army. They shut down the Spore. Overseers do fall as well. And the final Overseer falls, 0 detection. And Lurkers, they overwhelm. They take down the Roach Warren. At the same time, Wayne counterattacks. There are reinforcements. SHIN, he will defend. Nice fungal. Very nice fungal. Overseer comes in, and Wayne, can he hold on? It's not pretty. Yeah, he won't be able to. He won't be able to hold on. GG gets called, and SHIN overwhelms. SHIN will take a 2-1 lead in the series. GG. SHIN, he will take a lead. Again, a very intense back and forth. We did have, of course, SHIN with a very, I should say, a much more dynamic build here. If you remember, it was similar to what Wayne did. Wayne, when he went mass muta, when he was wreaking havoc, but SHIN, he only made 6. Only 6 mutas. He was more concerned with the next step. He was much faster to take a third base, to take his gases, and to tech into Lurkers. And you saw those Lurkers pop out just in time to defend against the all-in. The all-in failed. On top of that, third base was getting picked off time and time again. Wayne was just in a really rough position, and the longer the game went on, the better it was for SHIN. GG. GG, well played. SHIN almost in full control of that game, and now we're loading into game number 4. We'll see if Wayne can bounce back and force the ace match, as we are loading into Purity and Industry. Let's go. Just catching up. Catching up in the chat. Warcraft 3 in SE2 has been neat. In particular, I like the campaign remakes in SE2. Oh, there you go. There you go. I haven't played them myself, but I have heard good things about the remakes. I've definitely heard good things. And spawning in the top side of Purity and Industry, we have the red Zerg player down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back and force the ace match. It is Wayne. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Brood War Zerg player, the Blue Zerg, leading the series 2-1, 1 game away from winning the entire series and becoming this week's SEL champion. It is SHIN. Here we go. They have limited supplies at each base location, similar to AoE, where AoE has its own kind of like resource setup where you have to like mine gold or chop down trees or mine wood. Similarly here, there's only 2 resources. There's gas and minerals, and similarly to AoE, like they're limited. So you can see here as I click on them, there are limited minerals and limited gas available, so you have to expand to maintain your economy and take more bases and sustain yourself. But welcome one and all to Purity and Industry. This is a very old map. Purity and Industry, I believe this was in the map pool back in 2021, like 2020, 2021 era of StarCraft. But this is an updated version. I would love to know, actually, I don't know if Kat has an answer to this, but I would love to know what the rationale was specifically to bring back this map. Of all older maps in the map pool, it's interesting that Purity and Industry came back and not others. So I'm curious. I don't know if it was like on a whim. It's like, oh, what'd be nice? Why not Purity? That's okay. But a bit of an older map. But there have been some changes. So we do have these massive slow zones in between the bases, but I believe slow zones were removed on the edges. There used to be slow zones completely just engulfing the main base, but they have removed them here on the right and on the top side as well. So now it's a little bit easier to get around and to even take the island base as well. On top of that, I believe rocks were removed and the terrain was shifted around here towards the center of the map. As I believe there used to be like a massive wall of rocks here as well. More SCV. Oh, hello, papi, hello. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? But yes, we do have a hatch gas pool here by Wayne, standard opener, going for his third base. Meanwhile, SHIN, likewise standard opener as well. Nothing too crazy, nothing too wild. This time, link speed is on the way from our red Zerg player, so we're not rushing into a lair. Very standard setup at a Wayne this time. Very standard. Meanwhile, we just see SHIN. He is preserving that gas. Are we going into meters again? He's got 200 gas. No link speed. Where's the lair? Where is the lair? So far, he's walling up, walling off. And we're not going for a lair, we're going into fast Hydras. Very interesting here. Hydra Den is on the way. Meanwhile, Baneling Nest from Wayne, so Wayne is going into Ling Bane. Meanwhile, Shin, he's going into fast Ling Hydra. Interesting. Especially because Shin has been banking up a lot of resources. He cancels Ling Speed, going into Carapace. What build is this? I'm not familiar. Carapace will help against Ling Bane, true. For those that are curious, Banelings one-shot Lings unless you have a Carapace upgrade. Carapace upgrade will allow Lings to survive a Baneling connection. So that will help immensely in Ling versus Ling Bane. Lings are amassing for Wayne. He does cut workers at 28. He's not droning. Uh-oh. Yeah, Wayne is not droning. He's going for a Bane bust. Ling Scout is attempted. Wayne, he hides the Lings. Yeah, he pulls them back. He does keep them hidden. Shin doesn't know. Shin, he doesn't know that Wayne is going all in. He's just massing nothing but Ling and going for a bust. He reveals only a handful of them. And oh, he knows. Jesus. Oh my god. He knows, Papi. He fully walls off. He fully walls off. We have a massive wall of sunken colonies as well. Shin, he's ready. He's ready for the bust. He's ready for the all-in. What does Wayne see? Wayne, he does see the full wall. He confirms. And now he has to make a tough decision. After seeing the wall, does he drone or does he commit? We have the answer. He's committing. Banelings are morphing in, and here comes a massive swarm of Lings. It's all or nothing. Wayne, he either kills Shin or he dies trying. Shin, he knocks down his own wall. Uh-oh. He knocks down his own wall. Shin, he doesn't see it coming. Here we go, sees all the Lings. Banelings are revealed. The wall is now open. Banelings are rolling in. Sunken colonies now morphing in. First colony goes down. And Wayne, he may just have enough. He breaks through the first line of defense. Baneling rolls in. Massive connection. Takes down all the Hydras. And yeah, he's done it. He has done it. Alas, Shin, he was ready for this. He was the one that opened up the wall. He was the one that was ready for a longer game. And with that, GG, we break through the front door. We bust into the mineral line. There's almost nothing left. And we're going to the ace match. We're going to the ace match. Wayne, he will break on through, and we are going to game 5. GG. GG. Ay, ay, ay. Shin, he thought he was safe. He thought he was safe. He had a full wall. Like, Shin, he was so well prepared. He was incredibly well prepared. And he chose not to morph in the extra sunken colonies. He kept them as creep colonies, and he also opened up his own wall. He was expanding. Little did he know that the all-in was still coming. He just assumed. He was like, oh, you're probably going to transition out of this. Like, you're probably going to drone. You're probably going to back off. No. Wayne, he committed. And now we have the ace match. Let's go. It all ends here. It all ends on Sylphid. Here we go. Brood War Zerg doesn't even have Roach or Queen. Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, you can pull off that defense without Roaches and without Queens. As you saw, like Shin, he was very well prepared for it. He just thought that Wayne was droning. He thought that Wayne had backed off. He thought that Wayne wouldn't commit. But here we go, we're getting into game number 5, and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Sylphid, we have the blue Zerg player, the Brood War Zerg, tying up the series and forcing the ace match. It is Wayne. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have the red Zerg player. We have the red Zerg player himself, the SC2 Zerg. It is Shin. Being forced into the ace match again. Shin, he's the favorite player. He's the favorite player here. He was supposed to win. I mean, it was supposed to be Shin versus Classic. But Wayne, he popped off. He took down Classic, and now he's forced Shin to the ace match. Can he go the distance? Can he go all the way and cause another massive upset? Can he become our champion? We're here to find out. We're here to find out. Gas first. Gas pool opener out of Wayne. No expansion. Hyper aggression out of our blue Zerg player. Meanwhile, welcome 1-0 to Sylphid. Sylphid is a 3-player spawn map. You can spawn in bottom left, bottom right, or the top side of the map. As you can see, the Overlord is scouting. So Wayne is checking the northern base. Meanwhile, Shin, he's checking the right-hand base. So Wayne is going to be late to scout. Shin is going to be early, and Shin, he will confirm how late the hatchery is. So a big moment here for Shin. As the Overlord does move forward, and Shin, he will confirm, hold up, what's going on? Why is the base so late? Why is the hatchery so delayed? Something is wrong here. So he knows it must be an early spawning pool. As Ling speed is on the way, we stay in gas, and Ling production has begun. So staying in gas could be a couple of different things. This could be fast Ling speed into fast Hydras into a Ling Hydra all-in. This could be fast gas for fast Spire. Sorry, for fast Lair into Spire into 2-base Muta. We'll see what this gas is going to be spent on. It's going to be either Hydras or Lair. One of the two. Lings do move out. Shin, he also stays in gas. This should be for Ling Bane. Lings are moving out. Now, once again, because of the earlier gases, there's going to be a window where Wayne has Ling speed and Shin does not. Also, we have the answer, not Hydras, it is going to be Lair. So it looks like 2-base Muta out of Wayne. Wayne, he pokes in. Trying to catch out those Lings. Not quite able to. Has to pull away. Does pull out. He races back home for now. Ling speed is now done. He turns around and gets one Ling. Nice catch. One Ling for the time being. Back at home, he is droning. He is saturating. Oh, hello. Now, I had assumed this was going to be a Lair into fast 2-base Muta. It's going to be a Lair into Lurker Tech. Okay, I see you. Esther Wayne. I see you, pal. Now, will he survive? Because as amazing as it is to get into 2-base Lair and 2-base Muta, sorry, 2-base Lurker, Shin, he can Bane Bust. The Bane Nest is on the way, Lings are amassing, and we're about to get a role reversal here. As Wayne has incomplete information. He does see the Evo Chamber. He did not scout the Bane Nest. Wayne doesn't know. Doesn't know what's going on. Lurker Tech is on the way. He's building up towards Lurkers, but Shin, he's going for the all-in. You can see here, no drones. He has a very low drone count, 22 workers. Now, this Overlord, Wayne, if he saw the low drone count, that would be a tell. Similar to the last game. But, yeah, he doesn't know. He has 2 Spine Crawlers, thankfully. He has 2 Sunken Colonies. Hydras, they chase down one of the Overlords. But Wayne is droning. Wayne, he's droning up. He needs a full wall, and without a wall, it may just all be over. Here we go. Shin, he pulls the trigger. He's going for the kill. The wall is barely going to get up. It's going to be knocked down. Yeah, the wall is broken. Spine Crawlers go down as well, and Shin, he comes in for the surround. And is it going to be enough? Oh, it's barely not. Yeah, the Hydras, they pop out just in time. Banelings, they get spent on the wall, and Wayne is holding. Wayne, he's holding on. The longer this goes on, the better it is for Wayne. As Wayne is taking up into Lurkers. Oh, getting surrounded. He overextends. He overextends. All 3 Hydras get surrounded. Massive pickoff. Wayne, he didn't have to be out there. And Wayne's in trouble. He's in trouble. Here comes the second wave. More Banelings rolling in. Surrounds the Hydra. Baneling pops off. Another Hydra gets surrounded. And he has too much. Yeah, he has far too much here. Baneling connects. Coney's going to go down. And Wayne, he has been broken. He had a very impressive defense initially, and then he pushed out. He got caught in the center of the map, and that's going to be it. That's going to be game. As Shin, he breaks through that defensive line. Another massive connection. Takes down more Lings. And the natural base will fall. Oh, no! Oh, my God. Brutal connections. GG gets called. And Shin, he will overwhelm. He will take the series 3-2, becoming this week's StarCraft Evolution League champion. GG. Oh my god. GG, well played. A very intense game here, and again, really close defense as well. I was very impressed here by Wayne. Wayne, he defended against the first wave. He had enough Hydras. He held the line, but he wasn't expecting the second wave. He got caught out in the open. The Hydras got surrounded. He had no backup Sunken Colonies on the way. Wayne, he got just a little bit too excited, a little bit too cavalier. He got caught with his pants down towards the end. Likewise, Shin as well in the previous game. They were caught out. GG. GG, well played. I see in the chat that Biweekly Evo tournament is back. Yes, I believe starting from the previous tournament, StarCraft Evolution League used to be a monthly tournament. Before that, it was a bi-weekly, then a monthly, and now it's back to bi-weekly. Every fortnight, every 2 weeks, we have some StarCraft Evolution League tournaments for you. We have them for you, Pat. Shin is our champion. Shin is our champion. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations, Shin. He does break through. He does overwhelm. And switching our scenes over, we can catch up on the bracket. But yes, Shin, he will claim the series. Was a very intense back and forth, but Shin, he will win it 3-2. Shin, he took down BratOK, took down MinoVK, and also Wayne to claim the win. Congratulations here to Shin, but a shout out to Wayne because, hey, Wayne, he caused some crazy upsets. He took down Kiwian 2-0. I would have favored Kiwian over Wayne, and 100% I would have favored Classic as well. Classic, he is the strongest Protoss player in StarCraft Evolution, so for Wayne to bring him down was also very impressive. Now, if you missed out on the VODs, if you missed out on the previous matches during the stream, during the cast, I do recommend it. Very fast games. Very fast games. It was crazy. I mean, if you have like 5 minutes, you can catch up on Classic versus Wayne. It was like a 5-minute series. It was just, he cheesed them the hell out. It was crazy. It was crazy. And also a shout out to Wayne because he didn't just defeat Classic, he also forced into the ace match. So very impressive performance there by Wayne. Very impressive stuff. And I look forward to seeing more of Wayne in the future. Look forward to it. A lot of it did come down to aggression, to be fair. Like, there were a lot of aggressive games, a lot of cheesy builds out of Wayne. Was quite successful with that. But also a shout out and congratulations to Shin for being our champion. GG. GG, well played. Is our champion. Awesome. Yeah, it's really cool to see. Really cool to see the support is back for StarCraft Evolution. And honestly, there's a lot of StarCraft Evolution content now. There's these bi-weeklies, right? Like every fortnight, we have StarCraft Evolution League. We also have the monthlies, which is the StarCraft Evolution King of the Hill, right? So we have the monthlies in the King of the Hill. We have the show matches in the StarCraft Evolution Masters. And we also have Kung Fu Cup. Kung Fu Cup, they've also been hosting StarCraft Evolution tournaments as well, which have also been a lot of fun. So yeah, there's been a lot of StarCraft Evolution recently. On top of that, there's also show matches. There's also been show matches. Speaking of, we are going to be featuring a show match later on tonight. Bam, here we go. When it comes to the rest of our schedule, when it comes to the rest of our broadcasting here, welcome to the CranKy Ducklings. If you may be tuning in for the first time, we are live every single day, multiple times a day. We cast more StarCraft than any other channel out there, more than Wardy, more than Steadfast, more than anyone else. We have all the content, we have the quantity, and we have a little bit of the quality as well. Our next broadcast is going to be later on this evening. We're going to be casting the Wardy TV Monday. That's going to be at 8 p.m. KST. That's going to be at 10 p.m. AEST, or around that time zone or time slot. Yeah, 10 p.m. AST. So we have you covered there. That's going to be in 8.5 hours. Meanwhile, tomorrow we have the Pigastore Monday, and we have the Enki show matches as well. Specifically, we're going to be covering the Enki Epic Series, and that is a StarCraft Evolution show match between Bjorn and Hero. Let's go. So Bjorn versus Hero in a best of 9, by the way, is going to be on Tuesday. We're also going to be casting, I believe, Clem versus Dark. Clem versus Dark, best of 9 as well. So we have 2 best of 9s tomorrow evening. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be intense. Clem versus Dark, Bjorn versus Hero. Let's go. It's going to be beautiful. We also have Code for Giants Cup. We have the Turtle Tussle, HSL, the podcast. Plenty of content throughout the week. Plenty more StarCraft to come. Let's go. Let us go. We're set every fortnight. What a cultured caster. Here in Australia, fortnight is just what we use. Fun fact, I only ever heard the term bi-weekly when casting StarCraft events. But here, like, we just use the word fortnight. It's just part of the regular vocabulary. I think in Australia and in England as well, as opposed to like the Americas. I think it's a more rare word amongst American English, I think. Here we go. So yeah, with that, we are going to be wrapping up. We're going to be wrapping up here for the time being. Again, our schedule is packed. We cast StarCraft every single day. Bi-weekly is confusing 100% because it sounds like twice a week, right? Like, I understand. Yeah, I get it. Bi-weekly could mean every 2 weeks or twice. Yeah, for sure. So that's why I just try to emphasize fortnightly. Yo, shout out to Blake who's in the chat. God, baby God. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the 100 bits. We do appreciate it. But again, we're live every single day, plenty of content. We're live twice a day, typically. But we do have a couple of days off here. We have a couple of half days off, Wednesday and Friday. So there are a couple of free slots available, and that is where we're going to be streaming some Final Fantasy instead on our personal channels. But if you just want some StarCraft and if you want some more content, then check us out over on YouTube. !socials in the chat. We do upload to YouTube on a daily basis, so the link to YouTube is there alongside Discord, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Mastodon, and Blue Sky. We post whenever we go live, and again, we have plenty of content on YouTube. We upload on a daily basis. It's all there. If you cannot watch anything live, if you can only watch the VODs, then YouTube is the place to be for that VOD content. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Thanks for support. We do appreciate it. Again, our next broadcast is going to be in 8 hours time. I'm going to go get some food. I'm going to go get some breakfast and get ready for the next broadcast. I have a lot of editing to do. I have to edit all the VODs. I have to try to schedule them as well. That's a lot of work. So I'm going to be on that as quickly as I can. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Again, you can follow me as well at light_VIP. I stream whenever I can. I stream whenever we're not casting. And the problem is that we're always casting. We're always casting. We're always hosting content. So whenever I have a little bit of free time, I do try to go live on my personal channel. But it's a little bit more rare. But I should be streaming on Wednesdays and on Fridays. So a couple of streams. Otherwise, we'll see you guys next time. Stick around. We're going to be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid. We'll find someone to send everyone over to. Who is live at the moment? Who is live? I know that Patches is live. Who else? There's Patches playing StarCraft. I don't notice anyone else, actually. I don't know anyone that I recognize, I should say. So we might send everyone over to Patches. Give him some love. I see Carlitos. Let's go. ¿Quién más? Yeah, I might just raid Patches. But otherwise, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys later tonight for some Wardy TV Monday, or we'll see you tomorrow for some Pegasaur Monday as well. So see you then. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for support, and we'll see you guys next time. Until then, hasta luego. Ciao, papi, ciao. Hasta luego. See you next time.